You are certainly experiencing something special. You want to understand college and university culture? Traditions are passed down and they last a lifetime. One features a couple of teams that used to battle each other in the 50s and 60s for football domination in the Southwest Conference. Texas now in the Big 12, Arkansas in the SEC, and they go head-to-head at the College World Series trying to go 1-0, which is what North Carolina did yesterday in a long game. In fact, a record-setting 9-inning contest that lasted 4 hours and 24 minutes, longest in World Series history. Nightcap, very different pitchers duel. And Mississippi State walked it off Washington, bottom 9. Luke Alexander hit one over the right fielder's head. And those two teams comfortable at 1-0. Very uncomfortable for Oregon State and Washington. They'll play an elimination game tomorrow, 2 Eastern time. And the first of two right now, Arkansas and Texas. And behind us, you can hear the enthusiasm. Both of these schools travel big time. Happy Father's Day to everybody. Laura Rutledge is going to join Kyle Peterson, Eduardo Perez, and me, Carl Ravitch, in just a moment. Talk about legacy and huge shadows. Few cast bigger shadows over a particular program like Roger Clemens does over Texas. And boy, has his son made his way through that.
You hear this noise in the background? Well, Cody Clemens hasn't heard any noise whatsoever this season. He's been absolutely fantastic. The numbers speak for themselves. When you want to be a finalist, this guy has been a finalist in everything. Player of the year in the Big 12. But most importantly, he's now trying to win the final game as a Texas Longhorn. And that final game would take him to a national championship, just like his father did in 1983. Cody Clemens is a real deal, and he's going to show why here today.
No doubt about it. The Rocket pitched a complete game, beat Alabama in the final of that 1983 World Series. You think about Texas, you think about one guy. You think about Arkansas, 94 home runs. They all can do it.
94 home runs, fourth in the entire country. And when you look at the Arkansas offense, it really is one of the most complete that you'll see in the nation. 4 of the guys in this lineup with double-digit home runs. There's speed, there's power, there's senior leadership, and there's 2 of the finest freshmen that you will see. It's an offense that allows Dave Van Horn to do a lot of different things over the course of the game. They've been hot from the beginning to the end, and they're playing their best baseball right now.
2 storied programs. We'll talk about other legacies. Laura, when we return on Augie Garrido and how his presence is still being felt today in Omaha.
Passed away in March. Augie was college baseball. His biggest moments happened here in Omaha. The college baseball world misses him dearly. And back in the Big 12 tournament when Texas was there, Coach Pierce was looking at the program book and noticed that Augie was wearing number 2 in the 2003 College World Series photo. He asked why and found out it was because Augie was honoring Woody Woodman, who had passed away earlier that year. He was a great Texas player. And Pierce said to his equipment manager, Vinny, right then and there, if we make it to Omaha, I want to wear Augie's number. So Vinny got everything ready to go, and turns out here they are in Omaha. When the jersey was presented, it was tears and chills all around. They say that Augie is their baseball angel watching over them this season, guys.
Make no mistake about it. They believe that Augie's presence has assisted them in getting here. Just a piece of the puzzle that has allowed them to make it to Omaha. They've been here 36 times before. No other school has been here nearly that many. The Longhorns will be the visiting team, and they will bat first. And that means David Hamilton will be the first guy to take swings against Blaine Knight, one of the top pitchers in college baseball. Hamilton, a sophomore out of San Marcos, Texas, at 5'10", 175. And as David Pierce told us earlier, they got to get these guys on ahead of Cody Clemens if they want to have success. First pitch and a swing and a foul ball, so we're underway on day 2 at the College World Series. A little overcast sky today, a little cooler than it has been, and the wind is not blowing nearly as hard or in the same direction as it did yesterday when it was blowing hard in from right. Today it almost looks as if it's blowing across the diamond from right to left field. What will we expect from Knight today?
Well, he's got great stuff. I think the one thing to watch early is just movement and whether he has the ability to sink the fastball. It can have a little bit to it. There's a lot more 4-seamers than you'll see 2-seamers, but it's elite fastball control. When Knight is right, it's that one combined with a slider.
That pitch up in the zone, popped up, sky high, center of the infield. Who's going to get it? Tough play, not easy. Casey Martin is there to get it. So 1 man up, 1 man down. We take a look at our Capital One batting order. We've talked about Clemens, mentioned how Hamilton and Ellis have to get on. Who else is key here?
Well, the guy behind him, ZZ. You talk about Zach Zubia, 11 home runs, 44 RBI. In order for Cody Clemens to be pitched at, he needs to have Zubia protect him well, and it's of an essence that he starts off early and often, hitting the ball up the middle, driving it like he has all season.
ZZ Top early reference out of Eduardo. I like that. Breaking ball, and that's a hard breaking ball, 12-6 that drops into the zone against Duke Ellis, the right fielder.
I'll show you that one, kind of that slow top to bottom curveball. Then I'll show you a slider that has a little bit more side to side, a little bit more velocity too. I've already seen one changeup too. That was the pitch that got Hamilton to pop up.
Couple of pitches early though, up in the zone. Sophomore 6'3", 160 out of Nacogdoches. Splay Knight is from Bryant, Arkansas, 6'3", 170. He went in the 3rd round this year to the Orioles, and look at the numbers, 12-0. Hasn't lost a game this year with an ERA of 2.83. And you're pitching Friday night SEC. You're facing some of the best pitchers in the country. He's beaten them.
He beat him. He beat Mize. He beat Singer. I mean, you go 12-0 in that league, and you're throwing on Friday nights. You're doing a lot of things right, and Blaine Knight has done that. He's really grown this year too. You could see the pieces last year, and he had a very good sophomore year. But this year, I think he's turned into more of a complete pitcher. Added that second breaking ball. Has a little bit more of a feel for the changeup.
I think it's a fair question for people who follow baseball at the collegiate level, then the major league level. If you're the Friday night guy and you're beating Singer and you're beating Mize and you're 12-0, this one is lifted to left and playable for the left fielder. Why did he drop to the 3rd round? Why didn't he go higher like the other guys?
Well, it was a surprise to a lot of people, I think, that he slid that far. He was a name that I thought would be called the first day of the draft.
And now Cody Clemens comes to the plate, Kyle, and we've talked a lot about him already. We'll talk much more about him. His dad is in the house, and there he is, the Rocket, the 7-time Cy Young Award winner. Think about David Pierce, who has coached great players, including Anthony Rendon. And he saw Rendon hit 26 before he went to these BB-Core bats. He said the season Clemens is putting together is the best he's ever seen.
Well, this is a game of adjustments, a game within the game, and also what do you do in the off season? Cody Clemens went this off season and worked on his craft, wanted to get better, never satisfied, and the numbers prove that it worked.
2-0. All sorts of conversation around how you would approach Cody Clemens, given the guys around him haven't been great. Knight said the other day, I plan on challenging him. You know, I'm going right at him. And Knight, because of where he was drafted, perhaps, got a little chip on his shoulder, which has served him well since the draft. And we'll see if that pays out here. He drops a breaking ball in there for a strike to make it 2-1.
Open stance, has a lot more than what he had his sophomore season. Lowered his hands. Did this all on his own. Realized that his hands were dropping, so might as well keep them right there. And when he starts his load, he ends up in the perfect position.
Good pitch. Slider inside corner. Evens it up at 2-2. Regular season, a .356 average, 24 homers, 72 RBI. In the tournament, 5 home runs, 11 RBI. Wins the first battle as Clemens strikes out. And a 1-2-3 inning for Blaine Knight. Razorback Nation on their feet. And we'll see the Hogs when we return. Their 94 homers as the Rocket needs to refuel early. Dave Van Horn, his 7th College World Series appearance, who played at Arkansas, went away, 2 at Nebraska, and they brought him back home to Arkansas, and he is as comfortable as anybody. Got 3 years left on a deal. There's talk they're going to extend him when the season is over, even beyond that. Our Capital One batting order features Cole at the top. Kyle talked about the diversity in this lineup. You are truly looking at 1 through 9 that can hurt you.
Yeah, the length in this lineup is really what gets you the most. Carson Shaddy came back for his senior year, and he's heated up really towards the end of this season. There's a lot more pop than you would think in the body, but for Shaddy, a kid that has adjusted really well at second base, 4 of the top 6 in this lineup with double-digit home runs, 94 as a club. They'll face a good right-hander, too. Nolan Kingham, the 6'3" junior out of Vegas. When he's right, it's a real good sinker. Slider to come back behind it. Those are the 2 primary pitches you'll see from Kingham. I do think we'll know early. Some of it is velocity. He has the ability to go up a little bit harder. If he's 89 to 92, usually the sinker has a little bit more sink. You get too amped up in a situation like this, velocity comes up, fastball comes up, that's where Kingham gets hurt.
Eric Cole will lead things off. The junior, who's 5'11", $195 out of South Lake, Texas, having a good tournament like they all are, 9 of 24. There's a good first pitch. Fastball in there for a strike at 89 miles an hour. Kansas City Royals picked up a couple of Gator pitchers. They also went out and got Cole in the 4th round. They got both Jackson Kowar and Brady Singer.
They got off to a fast start in Game 3 of the Super Regional. One of the big reasons Eric Cole continues to get on base, has reached base 15 straight games.
Talking to Dave Van Horn about this lineup today, and he was real honest about it. He said, you know what, we were so balanced, I didn't really know where to hit guys. Cole's hit all over the lineup. Martin's hit all over the lineup. Kerstad's been in the middle for most of it. Carson Shaddy was hitting 9th to start the season. And he had 8 home runs in the first 5 weeks.
Moved him up to 6. The 1-2 high, 2-2.
Perfect. Thank you.
About 20 games ago, he decided, you know what, Eric Cole, you're going to be my leadoff guy. He hits from both sides of the plate. He's got home run power as well. This one left center field, and it is going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Eric Cole leads things off with a double. And a great start for Arkansas, both on the mound and now here at the plate. For Cole, his 14th double of the season.
Look at this pitch right here. Fastball stays up. 2-seamer. Have to be able to start it down. Kyle said it at the beginning. It's a pitch you can't overthrow, and Cole goes with it. Doesn't try to do too much. If he tries to pull it, it'll end up in the hands of Clemens at second base. Instead, goes with it. Now he's in scoring position. No outs for Casey Martin.
It's a team that doesn't sacrifice all the time because of their ability to put the ball in play. Casey Martin's a freshman at 5'11", $179. And he looks at a first pitch strike. Last night in our game, we saw
runner at second base right now. He's going to try to move him over, but yet they're playing him to pull. They're playing the scouting report instead of the situation.
We saw a team with a couple of shortstops in Washington. Ultimately, Graffinino plays second base, but he's truly a shortstop. Here you have what really appear to be 2 leadoff guys, batting 1 and 2 in Casey Martin, the third baseman.
Martin with the best speed on the team. He hasn't become an elite base stealer yet, but just straight line speed. It's a guy that can run you 6'5", 6'6", 60.
Ahead in the count, 0-2. And that one spins foul off the end of the bat.
He'll surprise you with the power. You don't think there's going to be as much jump off the bat when you see Casey Martin for the first time, but the power is real. More to the pull side, which the way the wind is going today is probably a good thing.
Spoils another one. Between Martin, Shaddy, Kerstad, and Cole, they all have 13 homers or more. So your leadoff guy, your second guy, your third guy, each with 13 or more. And then Shaddy, who bats 6, he's another one of those that has 13 home runs. And they're aware of Martin and what he can do. He's got 2 homers. These 2 teams met in March. Arkansas won both those games. He's gone there, chasing. He had 2 home runs against Texas back in March.
Look at the breaking ball on the outside part. Martin never making the adjustment, staying pull. You see that front hip. Flies out open, doesn't recognize spin at all. Commits to the pull side. Texas playing him that way. Never tried to hit the ball the other way and move that runner, or even bunting it towards the second base side.
This is a cross-up, too. Watch Petrinsky's glove. And it's a pretty good job to get back to it. He's reacting like it's a fastball until right at the last minute he goes all the way down to get it. And then walked out right after the pitch to make sure everybody was on the same page. That one gets through his legs. In a way, everybody does their job. Martin ends up on first. Cole ends up on third. But a real good last-minute reaction to glove it.
Heston Kjerstad steps into the batter's box. Another freshman at 6'3", 203. Having a terrific year. 340, 14 homers, 54 RBIs as a freshman. He's the left fielder. Eric Cole started things off with a double. He's out at second. That one is just pulled foul. Nearly got a piece of the first base umpire, Perry Costello. So the spelling of Kjerstad's last name, it's Kjerstad. Dave Van Horn often calls him Silent J, because the J is silent in the last name. It's good.
Makes sense.
Works.
Yes. Pretty straightforward deal.
Hey, Silent J, what's up? Oh, 2 laced up the middle, and that is good enough to bring Cole in from second base. Arkansas draws first blood here at the College World Series on an RBI from Heston Kjerstad. And for Kjerstad, that's RBI number 55 on the season to lead the team.
It's one of the reasons he's the SEC Freshman of the Year. Spun on a fastball a minute ago, just missed a double down the right field line. Now takes what is a really good 2-seam fastball. This has good sink. It ends up just off the outside part of the plate, stays on it, drives it right back up the middle, and puts the Hogs on the board. That's well done.
This kid's going to be a hitter for a long time. When you can drive the ball the other way as a freshman, the rest will open up.
Ed, you just did the Supers down in Fayetteville. Do you feel like you're still in Fayetteville?
Well, I did the Mother's Day weekend in Fayetteville. I'll tell you right now, all they need right now is a barbecue in the back. That's right. Left field. But it is an unbelievable fan base.
You were just about ready to pick up sticks and move there, weren't you? Eddie all in on Fayetteville.
Fayetteville and Miami are often confused for each other.
Yeah.
Luke Bonfield is your DH. He's in the plate now.
You put a beach in Fayetteville, you might have a situation. You might have a good situation working. Just saying.
Senior 6'3", 205. 8 homers, a 307 average. Another guy difficult to strike out. That was really an impressive bat by Kjerstad to go to the left center field gap as a left-handed hitter. One of the things that Dave Van Horn's talked about, especially with the young kids, getting them to buy into hitting back up the middle.
It's an important process, and that's a natural swing. He's had that going in since the fall.
Bonfield, slow roller, good charge, and we'll have one play to first base. Good job by Ryan Reynolds.
And a good decision, because I was down in Austin for the regional, and there was a similar play like that to where Ryan Reynolds tried to make the throw to second base when all the momentum was coming in, threw it into right field. It totally changed the course of the game, and you could see his mind right there. There was a piece of him that wanted to go to second, but that's taking a big chance in that spot. Eyes go there, and for a minute it looks like his body's going there, in the presence of mind to make the strong throw across.
Dominic Fletcher now bats the center fielder out of Cypress, California. He's a sophomore at 5'9". He had 8 homers, 41 RBIs, hit .282. And he circled the name Fletcher, one of those guys Dave Van Horn said we really need him to kind of step up here this week if we want to have ultimate success and play in the College World Series finals. Five for 23 in the tournament. As a freshman, hit 12 home runs last year, which was one shy of the Arkansas freshman record. 1-1.
Tell you, there's a lot of good center fielders in this College World Series, and Fletcher that's at the plate is one of the best, especially with an arm. He's got an unbelievable arm from center field. Accurate.
Patience there. He doesn't chase. Count goes 2-2. Pulls that one. You can almost hear him grunt. Dominic's brother David, a member of the Angels organization. And David Horn jokes about it. Boy, I wish you were as good as your brother was. Hitting .429 at the major league level. High hopper in the hole. Long throw. Not in time. As soon as that ball bounced over the head of Ryan Reynolds, David Hamilton did his best to get there, but he had no chance to get Fletcher, who flew down that first baseline. That's an infield single.
You're going to see a lot of that, especially during the day. The warmer it gets, once that sun starts beating down in the front of that plate, Hop goes over, tries to do his best, but Fletcher very good on his feet. Gets the first with no problem.
And the table is now set for a guy who's having a tremendous tournament, batting just under .500. That's Carson Shaddy. The redshirt senior came back to get to Omaha, and it succeeded. A .341 average with the 13 homers and 52 RBI, and he's got a couple of Razorbacks out there waiting to see him jump one. And he does to left field, and it is going to hang up, and it's caught by Mason Hibbler. Hit it on the nose. Arkansas breaks through first. The lefty goes to left field and delivers the first run of the game. Underway on day 2 in Omaha. The Razorbacks 1, the Longhorns nothing.
Joe.
Grant.
Grant?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Joe.
Joe. Nice to meet you.
Good to see you again. Yeah, I was at your place 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
For the regional. Thank you. I appreciate it. Sometimes I'll give you, like, a little touch, like when he's crowding that plate. Yeah. I just don't want to get pinched out and miss that, inside corner pitch, looking through him. Have a good one.
Joe Burleson getting to know Grant Cook. Brings the olive branch with him in Omaha. A couple of weeks ago, he didn't introduce himself, but he does here at the World Series.
Didn't have a mic on that. Sounds better now.
You don't remember me?
Another SEC-dominated College World Series field. Later at the #1 overall seed, and the defending champion Florida, the Gators, will be on the field as well. At 7 o'clock Eastern time tonight for game 2. And it won't be easy. The side of the bracket, given the national seeds that got through: Texas Tech, Arkansas, Texas. Tough side of the bracket. And of course the Gators. That's later tonight. Back here with Laura Rutledge, Kyle Peterson, Eduardo Perez, Carl Ravitch. Head to the second inning. Blaine Knight 1-2-3 in the first, including a strikeout of Cody Clemens. And that brings up Zach Zubia, the designated hitter. And he's got that slider working. We've seen a lot of it here in the first inning plus.
It's usually the one he has the most confidence in. That slow breaking ball, he'll try to steal a strike early, usually won't finish guys off with. That one he'll throw whenever. Ahead in the count, behind in the count, or to try to finish somebody off.
11 home runs on the season for Zubia.
No.
Appeal to first, no swing.
And I think this at-bat will be a good indication to see how that slider is working, because Zubia is very patient at the plate. 46 walks on the season. See that on-base percentage over 400. Very patient. Usually doesn't chase.
Fastball, two-seamer. Gets the piece of the corner. And Zubia in a 1-2 hole. Zubia was with Pierce when Pierce was the head man at Tulane. He's a transfer. Throws that slider again, and Zubia delivers as he sends a single past Jax Figures at short.
Guys, we've talked about Blaine Knight's intensity on the mound, and maybe the chip he has on his shoulder at this point, but he's a completely different guy off the field, not quite as intense. In fact, brings a fishing pole on road games that's a travel pole so he can go fish, just get away from it all, relax a lot. He does it often. And at home, he's got a boat that he pulls around with his truck, and actually the other day pulled the boat up to the stadium for practice because he didn't have time to drop it off, so some guys, just to annoy him, pulled up all their scooters and cars right around the boat just to block it in. Just trying to get to him, get under his skin a little bit. Blaine was still salty about it when he got here.
Thanks, Laura. DJ Petrinsky now up. He rips one deep to left field, high as well. Back goes Kerstad right at the wall, and that's where he makes the catch. And he throws it back in. DJ Petrinsky, the catcher, gave it a ride. And if the bullpen wall wasn't extended by 5 feet relative to the rest of the wall, that's a home run.
Heston really had a tough time picking up this ball. Watch him in left field. Look at contact. He has yet to move. He didn't see the ball until that ball was past the infield. Fortunate for him, it was elevated enough he could still get back on time. Might be an indication also for the infielders how tough it is with the background during the day here.
First baseman Jake McKenzie, the senior out of Dallas, Texas, steps in with one out. We got to go back to what Laura said about Knight, because the idea that we have a truck pulling our own boat, I'm a little, I don't remember that.
It's a beautiful thing.
He hasn't been to Fayetteville, has he?
No, that's a beautiful thing.
I've been to college.
You wouldn't even blink.
Yeah.
I've been to college on it. We had trucks and boats.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Really?
He does.
He does.
And the fishing pole.
Keep it simple. Hunt, fish, throw sliders.
Make money. Make lots of money. Heck, the way the Orioles are going, he could be pitching in the major leagues, in a couple of months.
I think this is a kid, too, when he gets into a system, he's going to put some weight on. And as he matures, when he's 24, 25, 26, the velo is going to get a little bit better, and he's going to hold it a little bit longer. Changeup's got to grow, which it will when he gets into pro ball, but the slider plays at any level right now. And again, if you can throw Friday nights in that league, and Buck Showalter has talked about this, how they've seen guys that have got into the professional level pitching against that type of competition in the environments that they do. Don't worry about them as much when you get to the big league level.
Another good one on the corner, 1-2. Buck Showalter, the Orioles manager, knows a thing or two about SEC baseball and Mississippi State.
Yep.
Buck Showalter just knows baseball. That he's familiar with the SEC, and he's big into that whole scouting part of it too. With the Orioles, you kind of have to be. Identify talent and get them up as quick as you can and make them be productive. Talk about the juggling of the batting order. McKenzie, who is hitting in the 6th spot today, hit 9th in the Supers. When he did that, he's got a great disposition about hitting 9th. He just considers himself the number 3 hole hitter. So I'm not going to bat 3rd. I'm not going to bat 6th. I'll go 9.
He's got to wait a little longer. I like that.
I love it. Valuable lesson for everybody about how to make your circumstances work for you. You hit 9th? No, I'm the 3rd 3-hole hitter.
Man.
You know baseball?
I'm just patient.
Well, on May 1st, he was hitting 192. And ever since, raised that average to 246.
Jake's an engineering major. He already has a job lined up in San Antonio when the school season, and this season ends. So he's in good shape. Runner going on a hit and run to third base. The only play is to first. A low rolling throw and a good play by Casey Martin. Figuring I can't throw it all the way over there. I'll just get it there.
When this Arkansas coaching staff talks about Casey Martin, the power there, the speed is there, but he's somebody they think ultimately can move to the middle of the diamond. He's adjusted to third base well and knows he's got enough time. I got no problem with this throw either. It's on a line. You give your first baseman plenty of time to adjust to it. A lot better chance that first baseman's going to make that play as opposed to airmailing it right over the top of his head. And I like the move by David Pierce. 3-2-1 out, you put the runner in motion. And you're counting on McKenzie in that spot just in putting it in play, making sure that you stay out of the double play, but staying aggressive offensively.
Mason Hibbler, left fielder, first time up today. 6 foot, 190-pound junior out of Cypress, Texas. And he can hit one deep as well. 4 homers on the season. Yeah. Eddie, your first baseman. You like that play from your third baseman?
Love it.
I did too.
It's more like a ground ball. You can put yourself in a position, in a backhand position. You don't have to worry about that ball sailing on you. Usually, ball sails into the runner.
And there was clear intent. I'm throwing this thing hard and I'm throwing it down.
Yep.
1-1. Mason Hibbler, one of the 3 junior college kids on this team. He had one offer out of high school that was to Odessa, and that was it. He's a guy that just will say, let me play. I don't care where I play, who I'm playing, what I'm playing. I just want to play.
And where he's playing is not exactly where he thought he would be playing. Was expected to be the second baseman after some defensive shifting. Cody Clemens ends up going to second. Hibbler hadn't played the outfield. He's done just fine in left, and they really like him in the lineup. Let's see it again. 3 pitches, 3 sliders. The second of the 3 in the middle that he threw for a ball kind of flattened it out, looked more like a cutter. Bet we'll see it one more time.
The view from Umcam. He went and he's gone. Knight strikes out another. He works around a leadoff single to Zach Zubia. Arkansas's got a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the second. Hook 'em horns.
The NCAA College World Series is presented by the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. What's in your wallet? And in part by Pennzoil. Make the switch to Pennzoil Synthetics today. And Hotels.com. You do you and get rewarded.
Welcome back, everyone. College World Series, and Omaha, Nebraska, not only the home to the College World Series, you see a lot of kids around as well. Todd Blackledge, son Owen in town.
Love it.
Owen, a big baseball player himself. Todd, a big baseball fan, decided to come to the College World Series, the mecca of college baseball in Omaha, and they're enjoying a few days here. Delighted to see Todd and his son ripped. Ouch! Clemens knocked it down. Now we're going to see if he's okay. You can see right away he had a reaction to that ball that caught part of his right hand. Hit on the nose by Jared Gates.
Yeah, this one was barreled, top of the zone. Hits him right off the throwing hand. Watch his reaction right here. This one eats him up. This should be scored a hit.
It was.
Where do you go on that one, Eddie? I mean, there's not a whole lot you do.
No, there isn't much you can do.
I mean, you just hope you either, get lucky and block it up and it goes right in front of you, but there's not enough time to read a hop go one way or the other because Gates covered that one.
And here's Grant Cook, the catcher, number 8. In the lineup for Arkansas, second consecutive inning. Their leadoff guy has gotten on. We'll see if they can move Gates around like they did Eric Cole. Gates over there with a lead at first. Gates, an interesting story this season for Dave Van Horn. That's down. Gates started the season like a house of fire, and then he cooled off and had some hamstring issues to deal with. And Dave Van Horn basically went up to him prior to the SEC tournament and said, look, how do you think your senior year's going? He said, not so great. He said, well, I'm going to play you every day the rest of the season. You're in the lineup, don't even look. And that seems to have turned things around for Gates, who's back to doing what he did in the beginning of the year and hitting the ball. We're going to get him to second base. We'll see. Obviously, the balk has been called against Nolan Kingham. And home plate umpire Joe Burleson was right on it. Called time immediately. You can hear it.
And in the first inning, you could hear all the Razorbacks always all yelling, hey, that's a balk, that's a balk, that's a balk. He didn't come to a stop.
I thought he did there.
There he did come to a stop.
Yeah, I don't know what else the call could be. And it's the only thing that you could go back and balk him for there. But I thought that was absolutely fine.
Cook, center field. Tate Shaw there. We'll see Gates tag. And that balk allows him to get into third base. So that's a big play and a big call. We should take another look at it, see if there's something else that shows up. Other than he didn't stop.
Well, the discipline of Cook right there on a 2-0 count to drive the ball to center field towards right to move the runner over to third is huge for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, Rav, I don't know what else it could be.
No, I didn't see anything else
it
either.
has to be that they were saying that he did not stop.
The entire bottom half of the first inning, they were chirping from that dugout. Make him stop, make him stop.
I mean, if nothing else, it gets it in the mind of the 4 guys wearing blue out there.
Jax Biggers, and this is going to be playable. Shortstop is over there. Hamilton makes the play, and you cannot advance on that shallow fly out into foul territory. So 2 down and a big out. Back to the top of the order, and Eric Cole, the right fielder, the second base. He had a double and scored his first time up. Left center field.
And it was off a 2-seamer that was up in the zone. Remember, when he gets in trouble, what he likes to do, and that's playing night, go to that slider against lefties. We saw it against Cody Clemens. This is Nolan Kingham.
He'll do it too, though.
Yeah, he'll do it too.
He'll do it too.
.94 miles an hour. He humped it up a little bit.
Stay there. Stay there. See the hands of Cole right there fighting to get the barrel out in front and catch a fastball in front of him. You saw the swing path of Eric Cole last time, and it was built to drive the ball to left center field. Part of that is because you think you're going to get that 2-seamer from Kingham that moves away. If he can execute that one, fastball in, that's a pretty good spot right now.
Another one at 93. Yep, did get away a little bit. I think the other thing you got to keep an eye on, too, is what impact, if any, that ball off of Clemens' hand had with regards to his hitting. He was shaking his right hand immediately after he took that ball off of it. So that's something you don't know right now, and you got to keep an eye on. One-two on the way. Slider filthy. He's gone. It was caught in the air. No runs come in. They strand one at third. Shaw, Reynolds, and Hamilton do up as we continue enjoying a Father's Day here in Omaha at the College World Series. Throw that strike. Beauty.
Dad, I love you. I miss you, and happy Father's Day.
Thanks for everything you did to me, all the times you went out in the cage, through the many late nights, all the long trips we took for baseball. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be playing in Omaha today.
I love him so much, and that he's
the reason why I'm here today.
Talked to some of the players with regards to their fathers and the impact that they had on them, especially with regards to baseball, and so many fathers and sons. A lot of young boys around and some old boys enjoying baseball, protecting from the sun. It is a gorgeous day, but we'll take all the help we can get. Top of the third. Knight continues to pump in strikes. That one misses. Good vantage point up there.
That's always a good view. Spin the hat backwards, go for a ride.
Life is good.
Yeah.
Backdoor slider in there for a strike to Tate Shaw, the center fielder, the junior out of Austin, Texas, 5'11", $190. Got a football background in him. Not your typical center fielder. Doesn't have a ton of great speed, but another one of those grinded out throwback type personalities. Got to have on your team. That slider's working again for Knight, back to back.
Tell you what, too, and Texas isn't to the second time in the lineup yet, but I'll be interested to see if they don't just sit on that one, because you know you're going to get one or two in every at bat. That's the way that it's been for Blaine Knight. That is his best pitch today, without a doubt.
It really has been. I'm curious to see if they're going to change the pattern the second time around the lineup.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that's made him successful. It's the not being predictable. Friday night starter in the SEC, and you know this really well. This guy knows how to battle and grind.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you go 16 to 17 starts, 3 earned runs or less. That's consistency.
Covered that one. He had known that might be coming.
The most important, I think, an interesting thing about him is he knows how to pitch to the score, where a lot of young pitchers don't. He will be polished enough at the next level, at least in the minor league level, to understand what the score is. And if he gives up a home run, so be it, depending if it's a solo shot or not.
Yeah, there's a great list. Mize, the #1 overall pick, beat him. Singer went 18. Ryan Rollison 22nd. Jackson Kowar, he beat them all. And he wasn't selected until the 3rd round. And I guess if you were to sort of look at just the numbers, just the resume and the numbers, the one that kind of jumps out at you is the 18 home runs that he's allowed. But you bring that up to anybody on the Arkansas staff, and they'll be like, yeah, but we tell him to pitch to contact because we're winning a lot, 5-1, 6-2. We'll take a solo homer than getting some traffic on the bases. That may be, look, they're spinning it that way, but that may be a little bit of a misleading number, the 18 home runs.
14 are solos.
Exactly. They don't usually kill you.
I think that's the key pitch right there, too. He's able to throw inside, up and in, get the chase there, then usually follows that up with a slider.
Maybe in the major leagues, you're going to have some eyes on you, some cameras, some microphones. 2-2. This one, right center, is going to hold up. I don't think so. Fletcher going back. No chance for him to get that. And Tate Shaw is going to hit second and go to third, and he is in there with a triple. 2-strike bomb to straightaway center field.
Kyle, from my observation and all the sliders that Tate Shaw saw, he was on them. Fouled a couple of them. This one stays up a little bit, catches it out front, and drives it into the right center field gap.
It felt as the at-bat went on, he was more comfortable with it, just missed it in the double down the right field line early, and then that one catches enough of it. Really, it does go right into that left-handed swing path. If he times it up right, which he did right there, and that one drove right through the wind.
5th triple of the season, and the first triple allowed by Knight this year. So a man on third, nobody out for Ryan Reynolds. Yep, that is the name, Ryan Reynolds. He's the third baseman and looks at a ball outside. A lot of lefties in this Longhorn lineup.
Son of Shane Reynolds, former major leaguer.
Reynolds has gone through a variety of, am I a switch hitter or am I not a switch hitter? Kind of moments.
He gets a hit here, he's going to stick to being a lefty.
That one just misses, and the count 2-0. Hit 6 most of the year, and he went to David Pierce, said, I'm not going to hit from the left side anymore. And David's like, no, you really should. If it's going to make you more marketable, it's a really valuable asset. So they stuck with it, and he wasn't having success. Then he went back to him and said, I'm not going to do it. And they said, all right, well, we can always bring it back in the summer, whatnot. Last fall, he decided just not comfortable. Then he comes back and says, I want to do it again. And this is going to get a run in on that slow roller at infield, sacrificed, and the game is tied at 1. So he's kind of bought back in, hitting from the left side, and we got ourselves a new ball game. It works.
Sure. And that's just like a safety right there, and it's a pretty good job of Blaine Knight too to take the right route, go straight towards first base. If you don't glove it, that route's going to take you there. Still enough time to turn around, potentially take the flip from Gates. Tate Shaw saw that ball was not hit hard. Nobody was going to get to it quick. He comes in easy to score the first run. Leadoff triple. Horns tied up.
Second time now through the order. David Hamilton, leadoff hitter, popped out to the third baseman his first time up. Again, these two teams met back in March, and Arkansas kind of dominated those two. They actually had their Saturday night guy available, Casey Murphy. Texas was coming off of a big series. They didn't have those arms, and they were blitzed. They will tell you, both teams, how different they in fact are. Both obviously have had huge success since that series.
I did one of those, and there was no comparison.
Right.
I mean, Arkansas was by far the best team on the field. Texas looked like a team that they were trying to figure out who exactly they were, and they've been a different team since that point. 33-12 since that Arkansas series.
It just come from a 4-game set against Stanford. All of a sudden go to Arkansas, play 2.
2-1 on the way to Hamilton, right down the middle, 2-2. I love it. I feel like I'm in a doctor's office. We got Kyle up here. He got the stopwatch in the hand. I just feel like we're just over at a baseball game.
I want to get him down to first.
Yeah.
I want to get him. He can really run now. Really run.
So you want a ground ball in the hole right now?
I do. Yep.
3-2. He can really run. He has 31 stolen bases on the season. Consider the opponent, Arkansas, has 39 as a team. Hamilton's got 31 of Texas's 78 steals. So they can run, and here he goes down to first. Expect him to be moving.
Oh, he's not shy on going. He's had 38 attempts, been caught 7 times. He'll steal both second and third if he has that green light.
Duke Ellis, Cody Clemens in the on-deck circle. Ellis hit one to left field. Pace of the game slowed a little bit, and it probably will even more so with Hamilton on base.
Well, he's going to go. It's going to be with Ellis at the plate. With Cody Clemens, I just don't see him going and taking the bat out of his hands.
Ball.
Guys, we saw Cody Clemens get hit by that pitch in the field earlier in this game. Obviously, you see him holding the bat. The athletic trainer tells me he's okay, but it did sting him pretty bad. Maybe just something to watch. Looks like a few times he's even still shaking that hand out.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. Hard hit ball that bounced off his right hand as he went to get in front of it. Didn't touch the glove. It just hit directly off his bare hand. Runner not going, and that pitch misses again. And you can just see the impact, Kyle. You know this of having a speedy base runner on the bases, on the pace and on the pitcher.
It is not a comfortable feeling when you're out there as a guy on first, and it's not because he's absolutely going to steal second. It's because you have to think about it. So your times to home plate are a little bit different. You're slide stepping, so that front leg's not coming all the way up because you want to make sure you're quick enough to home plate. And that creates inconsistency. It's not comfortable, which is exactly what the base runner wants when he's standing on first base.
Wes Johnston, who's in his second season as a very highly respected pitching coach, goes out to the mound.
I don't think you do it 2-0, but Duke Ellis is probably your ideal hit and run guy on this club. He's a guy that really can use the left side of the field. You think you're probably going to get something you can handle with a 2-0 counter.
I get it. I'd rather see a straight steal 2-0. I just think it's going to be so focused on throwing a strike. You used to see the great ones steal bases. Even Roberto Alomar always told me 2-0 is my favorite count to go on. Pitchers get so focused on making sure they throw a strike in the spot that they want that they tend to forget about the run.
And they're probably a little bit slower to home plate.
Right.
Yeah.
The College World Series Finals begin Monday, June 25th at 7 on ESPN.
They almost go hand in hand, though. If the pitcher is so intent on throwing a strike, it's probably not the worst time to hit and run because you're going to get a good pitch to hit.
True.
Again, Hamilton at first, 31 stolen bases on the season. Takes the same length lead that he's been taking the first 2 pitches. And he goes. And hit and run was on. Late swing, popped up straight to left field. And now for the second time, Cody Clemens comes up to face Mr. Knight, who was asked about what he would do facing Clemens.
I'm going to pitch at him. I'm not scared of him. I don't care if he's got 24 jacks in the year or whatever it is. I mean, yeah, the guy can hit, but he's still got to hit my pitch. You know, if I make a mistake, yeah, he's going to hit it, but I don't plan on making a mistake.
All right, you like that attitude? Right? I mean, you got to love that attitude.
I love the attitude.
Absolutely.
What else you got to say? I'm afraid of him?
You know what I like? You know who likes that attitude is the Baltimore Orioles.
I think he's going to pitch for a while, guys. I really, really do. I mean, you can see 20 pounds on Blaine Knight's body pretty easily, which when you get into pro ball, that's what allows you to get all the way through the season, carry that velocity as he gets older.
Make sure you have a lake somewhere so you can go fishing.
Yep.
Oh, he'll find one.
Get the truck and the boat. Clemens struck out. Saw a boatload of sliders his first time up. It's an interesting position, too, that Pierce is in here because you don't necessarily want to steal second and create an obvious walk opportunity for Clemens, but you do that. You get down to second base. You're in scoring position, and Zubiev got a hit following Clemens. Trying to get in the scoring position, or are you waiting with Clemens' bat?
I stay right there. You're in scoring position with the 24 home runs that Cody Clemens has, 72 RBI. You're in perfect position.
Center field and right at Dominic Fletcher, who took a couple of steps in. He hit it good. The hand looks like it's okay. And we got 2, 3, 4 coming up for the Razorbacks. 2.5 in the books in Omaha. Welcome back, Blue Skies, here in the heartland, Omaha, Nebraska. Texas and Arkansas 1-1, bottom of the third. First game for both these teams, as this is day 2 of the College World Series, with a lot going on in the sports world. Baseball fans focused on what's happening here, especially right now, Arkansas and Texas fans. A little later, Texas Tech, Florida. Winners yesterday, North Carolina, and late last night, Mississippi State. 1-0 victory over Washington. What a well-played, well-pitched game that was. That was a treat to be a part of that and watch that and call that.
0-0 in the ninth. First time in 30 years we've had one of those.
Casey Martin, end of the bat. Big ballpark, holds this one easily, and the center fielder Shaw has it go in his glove. So we got college baseball here. A little later tonight, Sunday night baseball. The gang will be at Busch Stadium. Cubs and the Cardinals, game 3 of the rivalry series. Cubs won 1-2 behind Ian Happ. Had 3 hits, including a homer, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. Came up in the elevator with a woman wearing a Cubs jersey, and she's already like worried that tonight could be the night it turns against them.
Uh-oh.
Instead of going for the sweep, that may happen tonight, 8 Eastern time. Don't forget, baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Adnan, John Farrell, Jim Bowden have that before the game. Heston Kjerstad, the left fielder, single and an RBI his first time up.
So far, so good for Nolan Kingham also.
Yes.
Settled down after that first inning. Had a conversation this morning with his brother, Nick. Called him. Nick is in the Pirates organization.
On the inside corner, 2-1.
Earlier in the year, in April, got called up to the big leagues. And by coincidence, Texas.
Yep.
They were in West Virginia.
That close.
So he has permission, and guess what? Was able to see his brother's debut.
And how'd that go? Ripped into the right field corner. And he's not stopping. Running hard to second base. Here's your throw. He's in there with a double. Wow, Heston Kjerstad from the get-go said this is a double. And he's now 2 for 2.
Omaha meet Mr. Heston Kjerstad. First time we saw him hit one right down the middle. This time pulls it, pitch down, gets the hands through nicely and keeps the ball fair. And then not only is he satisfied with that, right out of the box, he's thinking 2 all the way.
Dave Van Horn talks about Kjerstad. He said we knew from day one of fall ball what we had. Day one. And that's why the freshman is hit right in the middle of the lineup since he's been there all year, and why he was the SEC Freshman of the Year. And he's only going to get better.
Team high 15th double on the season for Kjerstad. Now Luke Bonfield. Kjerstad's got a brother who's dealt with pro ball as well, but family said, no, you're going to go to college and do all this stuff. Bonfield, most of his hits come right back up the middle. That one misses away, 2-1. The overcast skies have given way to more puffy white clouds and blue sky, and as a result the wind's kicked up a little bit and certainly blowing in a little harder now from center field, more reminiscent of what we had yesterday. Temperature about 10 degrees cooler, believe it or not. The humidity still remains in the 50% area. Some rain in the forecast the next couple of days, but the temperature drops to about 70, and perhaps the home runs that we've gotten accustomed to seeing the last couple of years will return again.
Yeah, the ballparkers shift middle of next week or middle of this coming week.
Two. Got him on the corner. Late call, but a good one from Joe Burleson, and he strikes him out looking.
I like this from Burleson and behind the plate. Kingham misses location. He wants it inside. Instead, it stays right down the middle. But Joe Burleson right there takes a good look at it. Calls out strike 3. Bonfield most likely sitting on an off-speed pitch. Instead, gets one thrown right by him.
Now looking for a little 2-out magic from Dominic Fletcher, who did single his first time up. Sky high infield. Clemens is over there. I think McKenzie will take it. And he does. That'll do it. David Pierce, Texas head coach for a couple of years, on what today means and the number on the uniform with Laura when we come back.
You're watching the College World Series presented by Capital One. Texas head coach David Pierce here with us. And coach, how has Nolan Kingham settled down after that first inning?
Well, you're right. I mean, he has settled down. He was pitching ahead even in the first. He just didn't finish some counts. He was 2 strikes and left the ball in the middle of the plate. But I like his tempo. I like how he's attacking right now.
You're wearing number 16 today in honor of Augie. What would he say about this team being here in Omaha?
You know, he would be so proud, and he is so proud because he's been a piece of us from day one. It hasn't been about him. This is just a tribute to him from the entire team, and we're just very privileged to represent Coach.
Thanks so much, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Laura. Yeah, David Pierce has really made it quite clear that when you know Augie, and Kyle, you knew him better than anybody up here, that this would be almost an uncomfortable tribute to him in a lot of ways because he's getting so much attention, and he's always made the attention about his kids, but just a dynamic, gregarious, huge personality.
He was the greatest. He was the greatest. I mean, the wins speak for themselves. All-time wins leader until earlier this year when Mike Martin surpassed him, but one of the most unique and thought-provoking people you could ever be around. He looked at this game so different than most.
Passed away in March. Suddenly at the age of 79, the winningest coach in baseball history until Mike Martin passed him. He was the coach of Texas from 97 to 2016. Had almost 2,000 victories over 5 decades. Appeared in the College World Series 15 times. Won 5 titles, 2 of those at Texas. And there are the numbers. And there's that face and that smile that you get so accustomed to. Cal State Fullerton, 3 of the titles. Fourth inning's been a big inning for Texas. They've outscored their opponents 50-22. That's a plus 28 margin. Van Zubia gets into one to right field. It sends Cole back onto the track. And boy, maybe next week that one will leave the yard, man. That was hit pretty hard.
And there's some good power numbers in this ball game. Nobody has more raw power than this guy right here. And I know it's just 11 home runs over the course of the season for Zubia, but the reality is it comes off his bat different than anybody else, and he didn't even get this one. And even with the wind, it took Cole just shy of the base of the wall.
That's pretty impressive. Wind's blowing straight from right to left. Hit it to the warning track. I didn't think a ball would be able to reach the warning track with this wind.
Yeah. This guy hit one on the warning track. DJ Petrinsky, the catcher the first time up to left field. They had a choice here with their catcher situation. They had Michael McCann back there, who is now the backup, and really wanted to give some credit to McCann for his acceptance of his role and his contributions to the development of Petrinsky behind the plate.
He didn't have to. I mean, Michael McCann caught a ton last year, about half the innings for Texas. DJ Petrinsky over the course of the season beat him out, and really has been a big part of this club offensively and defensively. And Michael McCann has taken on the role of helping him in any way that he possibly can, the role of an ideal teammate. That's not easy to do when you get beat out.
Longhorn team 18 times have had to come back to win a game this season. They trailed this one 1-0 after the first and have now knotted it up. They lost their first game in the Super Regionals, and they were the only team at the College World Series that lost their first game in the Supers. To end the bat, Clemens charges, and he throws him out. Check that, Carson Shaddy for the second out. Hey, for more coverage of this World Series and interactive brackets, we invite you to go to NCAA.com. You can find all sorts of information out about this College World Series. Teams that are in it, players, the personalities. Omaha, Nebraska. And what you'd expect with regards to the temperatures, yesterday was at about 100, and the crowd started feeling it. You could tell because the stands, people started to take cover in the shade.
It kind of tapped out about the sixth.
The sixth inning.
We'll see you. We'll see you in a while.
I think the challenge for the fans yesterday, I mean, literally the first 3 innings took 2 hours yesterday. Carolina and Oregon State in what was Not a clean game by Oregon State. Or Luke Heimlich on the mound with the hit batters. He had 3 of those. They made a handful of errors. So the fans kind of let you know. I mean, that's what the fans' prerogative is. They can let you know any which way. We're not going to stay for this one. We're kind of checked out.
Section 135 is the place to be right now.
135's got it figured out today. Shade coming from the scoreboard. That feels just fine.
They'll shift with the sun.
Then we'll go to 134.
Yeah.
34 of the 37 College World Series champions, the last 34 of the 37 all won their first game. And McKenzie is ahead 3-0.
That's a strike.
3-1.
Not quite.
Did you ask that question much of umpires? I think he asks as far as as it goes.
I was taught by Bobby Grich when I was in AA to never ask but to tell. That pitch was an inch inside. That pitch was half an inch inside. Let the umpire know that you know the zone.
How was that received?
Actually, very good.
Was it?
It was very good. One time I got called down on a strike 3 and the pitch was right down the middle. I looked back and I said, that pitch is right down the middle. Can't you miss it for once? And he looked at me and was like, that's funny. I was like, okay, yeah.
Yes, it
was. What
was.
it is. It's like you have to miss it once in a while. Let's go.
Did any of the umps ever said, no, that's 2 inches inside? They ever say, no, Eddie, you're close?
No, it was actually a strike.
Right.
I missed it.
How about that? From 3-0 to 3-3. And when the right-hand column's got the 3, you're going back to the dugout with a strikeout. Bulldogs have done that a few times, and they have been outstanding here in the NCAA tournament, winning another walk-off variety last night. 1-0. And boy, Mr. Demers from Washington pitched himself an unbelievable game. My goodness, efficient and effective for 7 innings. They took him out. And finally, there was a blink moment. Mississippi State knocked off the Huskies, who now get a little showdown with Oregon State tomorrow in an elimination game. Carson Shaddy, 6th position today in the order, and a step back by the third baseman who throws across the diamond to get Shaddy. Reynolds has been solid over there at third base, and just 1 man up, 1 man down.
It's impressive because moving their feet is a key for them. Let's not forget the Longhorns. They play on artificial surface back in Austin. So when they make the transition to natural grass infield, it's always a challenge. You have to be able to keep your feet moving.
Where's your head, man? You got meat on your mind? What do you got?
Maybe a little bit.
He's back in left field. He's back in left field at Baum Stadium. That's where he is.
Yeah.
He's out at the grills again.
Yeah.
It's a great point because you brought it up again to David Pierce. You talked about it perhaps affecting Oregon State, not suggesting that's the cause, but you did bring up the idea that when you get on dirt or natural grass, it's just a different feel. And when you come here, for sure it's a different feel than your turf fields. What are the challenges for the teams that play half their games on turf?
You can get lazy. As an infielder, you can get comfortable. It's a true hop. When you're on a dirt infield, you have to be able to read the bounce well, be on your toes, expect the unexpected, but it's all in the footwork.
Nolan Kingham's feeling pretty good right now. Slider on that side of the plate when he wants it has really good depth. The fastball has as much movement as we've seen the entire day. He's used the changeup more than he does at times. This wouldn't be a bad time to go back to it.
Gates got him the first time with a single. He ended up on third. There was a balk called against Kingham, but he was stranded there at third base as Kingham struck out the leadoff man Eric Cole for the third out in the second inning.
Here you go.
Tried another breaking ball, and now it's a full count, 3-2.
He shook the changeup to get to it. Changeup was the first one that DJ Petrinsky put down right there. He shook the changeup to go back to the breaking ball. So now 3-2 count. See where Kingham goes here. Probably just back to that two-seamer and let that natural run take over.
When Jack Spiggers and this guy started hitting, that's when this team took off, and that's another hit. Cut off out there in left field, and a good decision to put the brakes on quickly by Jared Gates, because Hibbler did a heck of a job to get over and cut that thing off before it got by him and held him to a single.
Tried to go fastball, was trying to go in, and instead it leaked back out. Jared Gates now 2 for 2 on the day, just went right with that movement. Mason Hibbler's a converted left fielder. He was a second baseman until this year, but got over in time, had that right foot set, got the throw into Hamilton in plenty of time. But I still like the turn by Gates, because you force that first throw to be quick and online. If it's not, he's got enough time to be standing on second.
All 6 of the Arkansas hits so far against Kingham have all come from the left-handed batters. Gates is 2 for 2. And the first pitch to Grant Cook misses away. Kerstad's got 2 hits. Gates has 2 hits.
Last time Cook had a really nice at-bat. Took it to 2-0 and drove one into center field to move the runner over to third.
Guys, Arkansas this year coming to the College World Series, Carson Shaddy said, we're here to win it, and we're not making any excuses. If that doesn't happen, we're going to be very disappointed. He said, when we came in 2015, we were honestly just happy to be here. We thought that was the accomplishment, getting to Omaha. We had kind of run out of gas from a pitching standpoint. This is different for them. And they feel like this is their opportunity to get a little bit of revenge factor from what happened in 2015, where they felt like they didn't perform the way that they wanted to with the jerseys on their bodies.
Oregon State's kind of said the same thing about last year's performance, and then yesterday they just didn't play well at all. It's one thing to say, it's another thing to do it, and it's not easy. This Arkansas team, though, has played Texas, Texas Tech, Florida, and went 5-2 against those teams this season. So they've beaten them all right near the dugout, and it's going to get in to the screen that covers the dugout. It's always an interesting conversation, and to hear players say, well, the first time we were here, we were just happy to be here, which sort of comes in hindsight, because when you're here the first time, you don't really realize that you're just happy to be here. You believe you're going to be competitive and win. And yet in hindsight, you're like, well, maybe our attitude or our actions didn't necessarily fall in line with a team that was trying to win, but they were trying to win.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
Center field, Cook hits it there. Shaw catches it there. 2 down. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think some of that this year is they're a top 5 team to start the season. I mean, when you looked at this going into the year, you go, okay, Blaine Knight's got a chance to beat anybody. Casey Murphy's turned into an outstanding second guy over the course of the weekend, but the offense was, I mean, undeniable. You knew the offense was going to be there. And that's something they've been able to carry all the way through the season. See the difference today, though. Lefties in this lineup, and today there's 5 of them have all 6 of the hits.
Maybe it's a reflection of the team's expectations, to your point. I mean, how many times did Florida knock on the door? Finally, they broke through. This year, they would be disappointed if they don't win it. They're not happy to be here because of the expectation. We're number 1 all year. We know what we're capable of, which is to win it. I think Arkansas has those similar expectations. That hardly means that Washington doesn't have those expectations. Maybe reality sometimes gets in the way.
Doubt.
Sometimes doubt in
the course of it.
Some of the goals are different. The messages they get in the fall. We're here to get to Omaha. Some teams are like, we're not satisfied just getting to Omaha.
Right. 1-1 to Jack Spiggers, the shortstop, swing and a miss. 1-2.
Jack Spiggers just a few weeks ago going to bunt had that left index finger wrapped all the way around the barrel, broke it. It was not attractive. I mean, split it right down the middle, a bunch of stitches. He's now been back for a little bit of time. Talking to Dave Van Horn, he's like, he breaks his finger, he comes back, he's a better hitter. I mean, even with that finger that is still not fully healed, Biggers has done a real good job offensively for him.
Just out. 2-2.
If somebody told you you had a bat like that with a finger like that, would you be able to do it?
Yeah. And the reason being is now he doesn't have to use that top hand as much. He doesn't roll over as much. He uses the big part of the field. Doesn't cut off his swing.
That is strike 3. Burleson rings him up. Another good inning. When we come back, Dave Van Horn has been here, knows all about Omaha. He'll join Laura as we continue. 1-1 through 4.
You're watching the College World Series presented by Capital One. Arkansas head coach Dave Van Horn here with us. And coach, you've had opportunities against Kingham. What else can you do to get something going offensively?
Well, we just need to come up with a big hit. You know, we've taken some good swings, but you've got to give him credit. He's pitched really well with runners in scoring position and kept us all balanced, popped us up, struck us out. You know, it's just about putting a couple, 3 good at-bats back-to-back together.
Yeah, it feels like this stage is built for Blaine Knight, or he's built for it. What has he shown you so far?
You know, he's competing hard. He hadn't had his best command, but a lot of times he picks it up about 70 pitches, so he's right at that. Hopefully he'll take off from here.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura, with Dave Van Horn, coach here at Arkansas. What do you got there? Oh, like a strawberry tower?
Fruit on a stick. Still fruit.
Well, a little insight into the way that Dave Van Horn was thinking about his pitcher, Blaine Knight. Gets to be about that 70 pitch mark, and having spent the season with a dude that's 12-0, finds another gear right around this point. He's got 7, 8, 9 to deal with as we start the top of the 5th inning of this College World Series. First game for both teams.
Yep.
Strike 1, 90 miles an hour. Opponent's batting .226 against him. He throws them all. Fastball, 2-seam, 4-seam. On this Father's Day, we know that Mr. Van Horn's got his 2 daughters here with him. They're enjoying the game. A little lemon ice going down, trying to keep cool. A lot of red and a lot of burnt orange in the stands today. A little high on that one.
1-2 now, 1-2.
'87th overall pick is where he was selected in the draft. Blaine Knight by the Orioles.
Go ahead.
Kibler asked for time and he's granted it. '72nd College World Series in Texas, has been in 36 of them. I mean, how hard is that? That's
pretty amazing.
Doesn't make sense.
No.
Think about the great teams. That's the one thing. You always look at that wall out there in left field over the bullpen with the logos of the college that are here, and you just say to yourself, wait a minute, think about who's not here. You could have the Cardinal up there. Stanford's not up there.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt, of course, lost in the game 3. There were how many? 6 game 3s in the Super Regionals this year?
6 of them. Yeah.
6 game 3s.
4 games on Monday.
Gotcha.
Auburn fought the Gators hard in Super Regional.
Yeah, you had a good one, Eddie. You had a really good one. I think to your point, though, Rav, it's a lot harder to get here now. I mean, if you go back 30 years ago, it was still tough to get here. Don't get me wrong, but the national commitment to the game just wasn't there. It is now, and that's why we see more depth in this field. Still, the power players are going to show up. It's not as easy to show up as consistently as Texas has.
It is the greatest show on dirt.
Yeah.
Years ago, Coastal Carolina. Last year, the Gators. Who will it be this year? On the ground, hard hit to short. Knocked down out there by Biggers, but that was going to be a tough play from the get-go. And Hibbler is on.
I don't think Biggers knew which way to go on this. Watch the jump right here. Goes to his backhand, but then goes down thinking he has to slide with it. I don't think he needed to do that. He needed to stay up on his feet instead of dropping to his sliding position. Made him lose his balance a little bit. Made that play a little bit more harder than what it should have been.
Yeah, I agree. It looked like he was a little bit confused when he was going down to get it. He stays on his feet right there. That play's a lot easier. It's still not easy, but it's a lot easier to glove it. A much better chance to make that throw.
They give him a hit on that third hit of the game for the Longhorns. And now Tate Shaw, who ripped a triple his first time up and scored the only run of the game for Texas. And this time he lays down a bunt. It's a good one. Traveling with the ball and throwing late was Casey Martin. It looked like he took 2 extra steps, and that allowed Shaw to get down to first and beat it out for an infield hit.
Now, 2 interesting things go on this play. First, off the mound, he's going towards first, but right here, you see him take that extra step to be able to throw the ball. Martin gets that extra pat, didn't have a good grip on the baseball, and a good hustle right there by Cole, beats it out.
He ended up making that throw about 10 feet into fair territory. I mean, it's how far ultimately he had to go, and started about even with it. The break was okay, and if the ball gets out of his glove right away on a clean transfer, they're going to throw Shaw out at first base, but the extra 2 steps just gave enough time.
Grind time for Blaine Knight. 2 men on. Number 9 hitter Reynolds up.
Oh, he's already bunting. He's moved up big time on the plate already. That part of the fundamentals is already set. See him move up even more.
No, I don't like squaring that early. And I don't like it for one reason, because there's no movement. I mean, you sit static for a minute and then you got to move again, and I think there's more of a propensity to jab at it or to let that barrel drop than an athletic move when you go into bunting.
I agree with you 100%, but what I do like is that he's already up in the box.
Agree there.
That part I like.
He's only got 1 sacrifice this season.
It's hard to be athletic when you're static, and this is still an athletic move.
Bunts it foul. Big spot in this game with Texas and Arkansas tied 1-1. First 2 men on. Hibbler with a single. Shaw with an infield bunt single. Top of the order, Hamilton on deck after Ryan Reynolds.
Watch the positioning of where he is preset. Hands are down low, the head is way up. Just think about when you play pool at home, when you play billiards. Do you have your head way up while you're trying to hit the ball? No, you have to have it down eye level. He has to do the same thing. Bad positioning there. Tough to bunt. From that positioning, it is very difficult to be consistent in the bunting game.
And that's why if I'm David Pierce and I see those first 2 attempts, I take it off here. I mean, he does not look comfortable doing it at all. Reynolds only has 1 sack bunt the whole year. Texas has 48 as a club, so they do it a fair amount. He just has not been asked to or hasn't been consistent at it over the course of the year. Now I think you let him swing it.
Son of Shane Reynolds, Ryan Reynolds.
He's up in the box again, though, guys.
He gets it down, and the throw to the inside part of the bag, covered over there by Carson Shaddy. So Reynolds with 2 strikes, able to execute the sacrifice.
Did him a favor throwing him a breaking pitch up like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Watch right here, still jabs at it. I mean, the fundamentals are not great. The execution, though, was exactly what Texas needed.
Ended up a great bunt.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had just seen the move, you wouldn't have necessarily thought it would have ended up there, but it ended up doing his job.
He has to be all smiles right now with that.
Speedster David Hamilton, he's at the plate. He's another guy that certainly be used in a variety of ways. And if Gates stays equal with the bag, you could certainly see a drag bunt.
And all that being said, the wind has died down.
Cole Ramage warming up in the Arkansas bullpen. So just at the same time that Dave Van Horn thought that Knight might find another gear, he's got the bullpen active. To Eddie's point, the wind is now just down to 3 miles an hour in. Hamilton high and fairly deep into right center field. Fletcher and Cole are there. Right fielder Cole gets it. Tagging from third is Hibbler. 2-1 Longhorns as the ball comes into the glove of Blaine Knight. David Hamilton drives in the second run of the game for Texas, and up to third base goes Tate Shaw.
Talked to David Pierce about David Hamilton. The one thing that they said is we'd like him to get it out of the air a little bit more. Like him to hit it on the ground a little bit, but not here. Not here. You're okay with the ball getting in the air right here. Winds down that ball plenty deep to right center, and Texas has their first lead of the ball game.
Here, say good job, D. Ham, for David Hamilton. Here's Duke Ellis. With Shaw 90 feet away down there at third base. Ball one. Body language on Blaine Knight's a little different this inning, too.
He's running away from that slider a little bit, too. That front shoulder's flying open. No way that you can finish that pitch unless you really follow that front shoulder. But this guy has the most trust of any starter by far on this Arkansas staff, so they're going to give him the chance to find it.
1-1.
You guys notice against Mason Hibbler, the leadoff hitter of this inning, the tempo slowed down big time. Nobody on. He was really quick. But with Hibbler, between pitches, took a lot of time. 6 pitches on that at bat.
Cody Clemens is in the on deck circle for Texas.
Back here.
For 2 today. He struck out in the first on a nasty slider. Hit it well in the third inning to center field, but was retired. You'd much prefer to have, if you're Arkansas, obviously Clemens come up with nobody on than 2 men on. One-two to Ellis. Got him. Strike 3. Good pitch by Blaine Knight. Strands a runner at third. And Clemens doesn't get a chance to swing. He heads back to the dugout. We head to a break. 1, 2, and 3. Cole Martin and Kerstead coming up as Blaine Knight gets the job done there. Coming up tonight, the defending champions, the Gators of Florida, have spent much of the season ranked #1 in the country. They'll take on Texas Tech, 7 Eastern time on ESPN2. They try to join South Carolina, the last team to go back-to-back, and Miami as the last overall 1 seed back in 1999 to win the College World Series. Won't be easy for the Gators, but the expectations have been sky high all season, and they have maintained it. A little bump in the road late, and that's been about it. Lifted to left field and just shy of the track. 1 pitch, 1 out for Nolan Kingham.
The question tonight, I haven't seen either way, is whether J.J. Schwartz will play for Florida. Hasn't played the last few weeks. I know, Eddie, you were down there last week.
I don't see it.
Kept hearing closer, but not yet.
Well, he wants to.
Oh, yeah.
For the people at home, tell them what the injury is.
Well, he has a broken hand. Hit by pitch. And he's been out ever since. Tried to stay in there, but to no avail. And the problem is he really can't grip the baseball yet.
Right. I mean, you would think it would have to be only in a DH role.
But then you have Nelson Maldonado as a DH.
Exactly.
And he's a good one.
For Texas Tech, too, you're going to see one of the premier offenses in the country right there, too. Josh Young's going to be a superstar, already is. Grant Little was a high pick this year. Tim Tadlock's got the Raiders back for the third time in the last 5 years. They had never been here before then.
It may be this year for the Red Raiders, like it was for Florida last year. That's a good game tonight. 7 Eastern time, ESPN 2, 3-0 and pulled way wide. Sent some arms out to the bullpen. And the first walk of the day issued by Nolan Kingham.
Still action in the Arkansas bullpen. Now Bartlowski up and throwing. If he's throwing at this point in between innings, he's probably going to ball game. Because you're usually, if you're going to go and get ready, it may take you 15 or 20 in the bullpen and then you're ready. He could start that when Blaine Knight goes back out. So even if Knight does go back out, it would appear now that the leash is going to be pretty tight. Just 81 pitches, so you would think there's plenty of stuff left. Dave Van Horn talked about it earlier. Fastball location's been a little bit hit or miss today for Knight. He hasn't pitched bad, just not as good as we've seen sometimes this year.
One out for Kjerstad, who's been tremendous at the plate today. Hit the ball hard. An RBI in the first. It was a single, then a double in the third inning on a ball pulled to right field. So we've seen him go up the middle and pull one.
Really has had some nice at-bats. He's been able to handle the pitch down really well.
Two 2-0. Big spot in the game with Kjerstad, given what he has done so far. And pitch count at 69 now for Nolan Kingham. Texas bullpen starts to loosen up a little bit as well. 6 straight balls. Parker Joe Robinson begins to warm. That's in there for a strike. 2-1. David Pierce told us just tremendous stories about Parker Joe Robinson, and that they brought him in basically in the worst situations possible. I think 5 times the bases have been loaded. 4 of those times there was nobody out, and he's given up basically 1 run.
He hasn't given up a hit.
Hit hard, wow. Fielded cleanly. We're going to get 2 here. No, he threw it away. They'll throw back. Did he make a turn? No, says the first base umpire, Perry Costello. Boy, Jake McKenzie made a terrific throw. And then the return throw by Hamilton took him off the bag. And now, like the temperature here, it's getting a little warm at first base. Almost a terrific double play.
Well, what a play by McKenzie right here. That ball right doesn't panic whatsoever. Makes a perfect throw to Hamilton, and Hamilton just throws a little up and away. Has had some issues throwing to the bases, but right here, that's a big time push by Kjerstad.
I honestly think at the beginning he was trying to grab it. First base umpire Perry Costello too had already said that he was safe, so there was no intent to go to second base, just to make sure and get back. Well, no, never mind. He didn't grab him. He grabbed him to push him, but yeah. That's all right.
And that's not a flop.
So in the end, Kjerstad sits there at first base. There are 2 men down now. He's hit it hard 3 times. That was the first one that actually was hit at somebody, but he has hit it hard 3 times, and now Luke Bonfield up.
And that won't go as a double play, obviously, but that's a game changer there, because that gets by him. That ball's got a chance to go all in the right field corner, and Martin can fly. That gets to the fence. He potentially scores, and this ball game's tied.
Yeah, Texas may look at it as a game changer because Hamilton had all the time in the world. I mean, the ball was hit so hard. Hamilton just flat-footed that throw over to first, and it sailed on him. Left field hit well. Hibbler's going back. He's looking up. It's over the wall, and that double play that wasn't comes back to cost Texas. Luke Bonfield, a home run, a 2-run shot, And the Razorbacks back on top.
Well, at the beginning of the season, before the season even started, Dave Van Horn tells this big man right here, Luke, you're my senior. Not going to play in the outfield. You're going to be our DH. And instead of being disappointed, he embraced it. He's been in that middle of the lineup, and he's hit some big shots this season, and that's a big one right there to put the Razorbacks up by 1.
9th home run of the season for Luke Bonfield. He drives in 2. And that double play ball that was thrown away hurts Texas. On the ground, fielded cleanly. McKenzie able to make that play, but some noise from Arkansas.
How about the senior going to work right here? Luke Bonfield came back for this opportunity. A chance to get to this place again. Fastball elevated. Hawks retake the lead. The first home run we've seen in this College World Series is enough to put Arkansas ahead 3-2.
Are you ready?
Well, you saw Barrett Losky warming up during that offensive half inning for Arkansas, and he has come in to pitch. So Knight's day is done after 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. Both of them are earned. He walked 1, he struck out 4, and he threw 81 pitches, which is a little fewer than you would have thought for somebody of Knight's ability. So let's kind of find out if there's something more to this with Laura.
Well, yeah, Carl, Blaine Knight came off the field after his last half inning pitching and was very frustrated with giving up a run. And he came over to Wes Johnson, and Wes was just like, hey, man, I'm not sure if you have it today. And he kind of agreed. They had a big hug. But then Blaine Knight, very frustrated with himself, wanted to stay in this game, wanted to have his better stuff. And, guys, just a little peek inside Blaine Knight's psyche. He's so hard on himself all the time. He expects perfection at all times. It's what gives him the competitive excellence that's allowed for so many wins this year in the SEC as well as out of the conference. And you saw that in the dugout here where he wanted to be out there for his team and was able to battle through not having some of the best stuff. The only time he smiled since he was out of the game, guys, was when Bonfield hit that home run. You would imagine a smile right there.
That would generally help.
I'll tell you this, I give Wes Johnson credit because based on the year that Blaine Knight has had, and they've got 3 or 4 guys in the bullpen they really trust, but still, that's your guy. That's been your guy all year, and he's taking you deep into ball games. And his eyes told him what really I think we saw too. The stuff was fine. It wasn't what we've seen at elite moments this year for Blaine Knight. So he's out, Barrett Losky in.
And welcome to the game. You get to deal with Cody Clemens. Losky's strikeout to walk rate has been outstanding. His last 12 appearances, 26 innings, just 4 earned runs and 32 strikeouts. So he's been one of the reliable arms out of that Arkansas bullpen. And Cody Clemens 0 for 2 today with those 5 home runs in the NCAA tournament, 24 homers on the season. Now Texas beginning play in the 6th, finds himself down a run.
Bottom.
Heard the home plate umpire say bottom. Low part of that strike zone. So the hitter now knows.
Still a good take. 2-0. That's not a pitch you want to swing at.
Clemens, we saw him in the Supers hit a home run to right and to left field. And now 3-1. Even that strike call, you get the impression that Losky's not too interested in challenging Cody Clemens. He did, and he paid for it. Rips one into right field. Cody Clemens has his first hit of this College World Series, a hard hit single.
Well, you work yourself to a count. A favorable count at that. 3-1, pitch up in the zone, something he was looking for. Puts that foot down, hands are quiet and through quickly. Puts the Longhorns back in position right now with a runner at first base, no outs.
We saw Roger Clemens. You just saw Mom Debbie there. Of course, the Clemens kids all have their names starting with the letter K. The strikeout. Now Zach Zubia gave one a big-time ride to right field his last time up, all the way to the warning track. Broski's gotten behind both Clemens and now Zuby at 2-0.
Wes Johnson out right now, and I mean, he said he wasn't sure if Blaine Knight had it. Losky looks the same way right now. Dancing around the strike zone. The only strikes he's thrown is a borderline 2-0 fastball down to the zone and an elevated 3-1 fastball that Cody Clemens put a really good swing on it. That's why you see more action in that Arkansas bullpen right away.
When you pitched for Stanford and came here to the College World Series, you've been around college baseball. How's the evolution of the pitching coach been on teams? Has it changed over the years?
The biggest difference now is the reliance on data and analytics. I mean, at that time it was a pitch chart and some scouting reports. There weren't as many games on TV, so you had to guess a little bit more. And that guy Wes Johnson, the pitching coach for Arkansas, is one of the best in this business at utilizing the data, putting it into motion with his guys. Love talking to Wes just about the way that he sees the game.
2-0 to Zubia. Grooved one and he fouled it back. You have to change your mentality as a pitcher when you come to this ballpark and the wind's blowing in relative to where you're playing most of your games during the regular season.
I don't think you do, Rev, and my reason is because if you do and you turn into somebody that you weren't before you got here, sometimes you're getting beat with your third best pitch more. You're doing things that you don't normally do.
It's so hard now because of our strikeout obsession, and the numbers support it, that pitchers generally don't pitch to contact. This is a pretty good ballpark with the wind blowing in to pitch to contact.
Correct.
3-1. Chases one up, 92, and now 3-2.
This can be some loud contact if he gets another fastball in the middle of the zone.
Well, they tried to stay in on him. So far it's worked. Let's see if he can execute right here.
That's a double play ball. High throw, though, and Zubia will go to second base as that one goes out of play. Jax Biggers had a chance for an unassisted double play, and he threw it high.
Well, two things right here. One, Cody Clemens coming in hard at second base. So now it's a race. Makes him throw off balance. Keeps his elbow underneath, and that makes the ball rise, but most importantly, did not use his feet as well, did not stay down low. And one thing you can do with Zach Zubia, knowing that he's not a fleet-footed guy, you have a lot of time. Rush that throw not knowing what kind of ability this guy right here had running down first.
You have a lot of time. That's why I think you flip it. I mean, there's enough time right there to flip it. It's a much easier turn at that point for Shaddy. He can get out of the way of the Cody Clemens slide.
So the failed execution on the double play hurt Hamilton. We'll see if the same thing happens to Biggers. Petrinsky, and that one right by him, a little late on that. So these teams come to Omaha, and there's obviously all these tournaments going on. Finding a field to practice becomes a bit of a challenge. Thursday, this Texas team was over at Bellevue East High School. Hibbler, during batting practice, smashed the window of a car that was passing by. So they parked the car. The door of the car is open, and then this guy, DJ Petrinsky, comes up and hits one through the open door of the same car.
Stay hot.
Outside.
Police were called just because the window was smashed. There was no action taken by the police, but kind of hear that story every couple of years where a car gets just destroyed innocently driving by Bellevue East High School.
I think I've given a home run up in that street before, a long time ago. I know that spot.
Keep the name of the streets where some of your pitches have landed?
There's multiple.
That'll get to the seats. Figuring if you're driving by, though, Bellevue East, you're just generally not fearing baseballs flying into your car.
You're worrying about the radio station, maybe checking Waze to make sure you know where you're going, and then you got a passenger out of nowhere.
This was the rear window, too, and it was just blown up. I mean, it wasn't a question of like just a ball that had gone through. There was no glass left in the whole thing. There's Roger Clemens and Chris Burke. Clemens is probably thought bubble. Why is this dude bothering me here right now, watching my son play? This one will stay in the yard as Kerstad is back there. And the second out. Up comes Jake McKenzie, who struck out his last time up, and after he struck out, he was asking where was that pitch.
That's a strike. Not quite. Almost. 2. That's about in the middle of your knee. It was up. Yeah, it was up.
That's a bummer. When you look back, was that a strike? And the umpire's saying, nope, that was a ball.
No. You'd be standing on first if he would have swung at that right there.
No, didn't need to swing at that one. Jake McKenzie, man on second. Down a run. First pitch from Lowski is in there for a strike. So trying to survive what should have been an inning, or at least a double play. And they should have been out of this inning after that flyout. Oh, and 2.
Tailing down a little.
Keeps asking him.
Where's Bobby Grich when you need him?
I'm telling you, all you have to do is just not ask and then tell.
Little different dynamic as a college player than a professional player, but I hear you. Right fielder Eric Cole playing very shallow. Popped up, and it is shallow. Second baseman Shaddy gives way to Cole. Inning over. Zubia stranded at second. Knight likes what he sees. His team's up by 1, 5.5 in the books.
Boys around on Father's Day was always fun. I always remember I would dress them out, in unis and get them detailed for their height, and when they're 5 years old. I made them look like they were getting ready to start a big league game. Okay, have a good one. I feel good as a dad that I could play that long, so the boys could really retain it and remember it. And now I get to watch them do their thing and have fun doing it.
Dad, I wouldn't be here without you. Everything growing up and everything that you've taught me, you've made me the man I am today, and I wouldn't be out here on this field without you.
Kobe, Casey, Cody, Corey, 4 sons of Roger and Debbie Clemens. As we continue bottom 6 of this one, just had a nice tribute to Augie Garrido on the big screen in right field, and The entire stadium stood on its feet to applaud the scoreboard and the tribute. Shaddy, a 3-run home run in the final game of the Fayetteville Super Regional. Looks at a ball, not yet a complete bullpen game as Nolan Kingham continues to throw, but there is a buzz around that Texas bullpen. Wayne Knight out of the game last inning. We saw Lowski come in and do a nice job. Ooh, off the glove of Kingham, and a shot from Shaddy gets him to first base.
He's seen it all right now. Line drive to left earlier in this game, fastball out of the way, and Carson Shaddy's got a little buggy whip to it. When that barrel starts moving, creates a lot of power right at the end. That is not a comfortable feeling. That's when it sounds like there's a bumblebee coming right by your ear. Leadoff single for Shaddy. Arkansas in business again here in the 6th.
They've had the leadoff hitter aboard in half of their innings. They scored 2 runs on that big home run from Bonfield last inning to go up, and a throw over to Shaddy as he's back safely. Jared Gates has reached base twice, a couple of singles. This Texas infield has turned 71 double plays on the corner for a strike, which is tied with Cincinnati for the NCAA lead. And just think about where their players have bounced around. I mean, Clemens was at third base, now he's at second base. So Hamilton and Clemens haven't been together up the middle all season, and yet their 71 double plays are tied with most college baseball.
A lot of credit goes to their pitching staff also inducing those ground balls.
One is through, and Jared Gates is 3 for 3 today. Have yourself a big opening game at the College World Series.
And what a day Gates has had. You look at it, he's gone twice opposite field. He's pulled one already, 3 for 3, but barreled all 3.
How long do you stay with Nolan Kingham?
I don't think you stay with him any longer at all, actually. I think they may go get him right now. The only question would be whether or not you think Cook is going to bunt. And if you think Cook is going to bunt and you like Kingham defensively, then maybe you leave him in there. But aside from that, I think that'll be it.
Looks that way, and all of a sudden the Arkansas fan base gets up and starts serenading TD Ameritrade. These two schools have been battling each other literally since about 1914, when they were members of the Southwest Conference. That was primarily made up of Arkansas and all the Texas schools. Arkansas left it in 1991, of course, joined the SEC. And now they're meeting again today at the College World Series. We got ourselves a pitching change. Kingham done for the day, and now it's a battle of bullpens. Parker Joe Robinson inherits another problem.
So Nolan Kingham pitches into the 6th, but that'll be it for his day. 4 strikeouts. Got Casey Martin in the first swinging. Eric Cole on a breaking ball there. Luke Bonfield looking later on, and Jax Bigger's the 4th and final strikeout today. Kingham's stuff was fine, not great, but fine. Pitches into the 6th after giving up back-to-back singles here to Carson Shaddy and Jared Gates. 5 innings, 9 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. And now Texas goes to the bullpen to a guy that they weren't quite sure was going to be in this role. In fact, they were quite sure he wasn't going to be in this role at the beginning of the year. Parker Joe Robinson has been probably their most consistent reliever as this season has gone on. A 1.17 ERA, low 3/4 arm action, up into the upper 80s, decent slider behind it. He's used to these types of situations, though. This is the guy they like to bring in when there's a lot of chaos on the base paths.
A lot.
We're all right. Don't worry.
Kyle looks up
at those clouds. We're
looks
all right.
up at the sky, says no, not to worry.
All right.
Eddie looks at his phone. He said he's worried.
Concerned.
But more important issue on the field, Parker Joe Robinson now facing Grant Cook. 2 men on, nobody out. And here's your square to bunt. Infielders crashing from the corners, and ball 1. Mentioned the fact that he had come in 5 times with the bases loaded. No hits allowed. No hits allowed is significant. And maybe he's just trying to get into a bases loaded situation.
It's comfort zone.
It's his wheelhouse. No sack bunts on the season for Cook.
And I love what McKenzie's doing at first base. Pressuring him, bunt at the third. Good pitch.
Come on.
Pretty good pitch to bunt, too.
Grant Cook trying to do something he hasn't done all year. He does not have a sack bunt the entire season for Arkansas.
McKenzie, love that.
Oh, I got you. Switch out.
He came in to shake his hand, right?
You know what? If he's that close right there, you can swing away.
Yeah, you have to.
Swing away. I know the bunt has to go to third base. And if you look at it, the third baseman Reynolds is staying put at third. So he can still execute without a problem. But if he's that close, let it rip.
Here he comes again. 2-2 were squared to bunt. Look at McKenzie crash. That's way outside. And now 3-2. Biggers, the 9-hitter, is on deck. He's 0 for 2. And then you get back to the top for Eric Cole. Huge part of this game. Arkansas has been outstanding with a lead. They are 37-2 when leading after 6 innings this season. Now the bases are loaded. Jax Biggers will be the guy to come up.
And you would think a sidearm pitcher like this against a left-handed hitter, advantage left-handed hitter, especially Zach Biggers right now. You see that finger. He drives the ball to left center field a lot now.
Parker Joe is having a hard time finding the plate behind 1-0.
Parker Joe, good Texas name, right?
Right.
He's not from Texas.
He's a California kid. And he's in a boatload of trouble right now. Corners in the infield. In there for a strike. 1-1. Texas hoping hard for a strikeout or a ground ball right at somebody. Nope. 2-1. Parker Joe Robinson asked for a new baseball.
Base is loaded. The hats come out.
Parker Joe's dad pitched for Augie Garrido when he was at Fullerton. So his dad said, I want you to go play where Augie is. That's what got him to Texas. Now 2-1. Now 3-1. Now you got a groove one here. 4, and a run comes in. Back-to-back walks for Parker Joe Robinson. And Arkansas increases its lead to 4-2. So Josh Sawyer warming up, the junior left-hander. And it may be that the leash is that short, and in fact it is. We're going to bring in a lefty to face Eric Cole. Still nobody out. And the base is still loaded. We'll take a timeout at the College World Series. Razorbacks 4, Texas 2, bottom 6.
There's no crying in baseball, but sometimes there's rain, and it looks like there are storms in the area here. You can see the clouds around TD Ameritrade Park. We'll see what happens with that. But one interesting note about this is Dave Van Horn fancies himself as a meteorologist of sorts. He actually gives a weather report to the Arkansas players before every game. It's very detailed. It has when rain might come, what the clouds are going to be like, and whether the wind is going to be blowing a certain direction or not. The guys say they pretend to take it very seriously, but they find it quite funny. And just for the record, Dave Van Horn, as a meteorologist, was quite accurate today. He said late innings we could see rain.
Wow. We have Eduardo Perez up here, who is very, very close with Jim Cantore. So
tight.
I mean, they talk to each other. Cantore showed up in a booth one night. We were doing a game. But Kyle's the Omaha guy, so we kind of have conflicting reports here. Kyle uses the let's look up at the sky and see if there's any precip falling like this.
We're all right.
I don't know.
I think we're okay.
You're okay?
Kyle insists we're okay.
Jerry, what do you think?
Let's put it this way. In 14 minutes,
yeah,
it's going to start raining.
Well, so what? What's wrong with a little rain?
Right.
I'm just
lightning. I'm worried about. I'm telling you, we're going to play.
Love it.
Cool you down a little bit.
Love it.
Okay. It's not that bad.
All right, let's go with that. And
from Miami, it rains every day down there.
That's right. That's why I'm pretty accurate with these things.
Fair enough.
Left-hander Josh Sawyer into the game. 30 appearances, a 3.5 ERA. And he's got himself a bases loaded, no out situation, and top of the order coming up. Cole moves to the right side. He doubled, he struck out, he hit one into center field that was caught. Gates is at third, Cook is at second, Biggers is at first. And he misses with the first one.
The issue with Sawyer's is not stuff. There's plenty of it. The fastball can get into the low 90s. The issue has been consistency, and this is not the ideal situation to get Sawyer's in the bullpen. You'd like for him to have a little bit more leeway on the base pass instead of looking at all of them full right now.
Good pitch in there for a strike. Good velocity at 93. .138 batting average with runners on base, and only 20% of the runners that he have inherited have come in to score. He's inheriting 3 of them right now. Nope, 2-1. Started off with Shaddy, who singled. He scored. Gates then singled. He's at third, and a couple of walks to Cook, who's at second, and Biggers, who is at first. So Kingham and Parker Joe Robinson, the two pitchers, Blaine Knight watching. He's in line to get a victory. He'd go to 13-0 on the season. Cole was swinging for the downs there. 2-2. Wind continues to blow directly in now from center field.
Hibbler playing very deep in left field. Now with 2 strikes. Any base hit on the ground. Easy scoring from second base.
Now 3-2. Robinson walked in a run. And Josh Sawyer is in danger of doing the same. Ooh, Eric Cole just gave him a break. Swung at what would have been ball 4. He got 50 runs batted in this season. Cameron Fields, the righty. The freshman who started his career with 11 scoreless innings. Here's the 3-2 to Cole. Out of play. Battle is on between Cole and Josh Sawyer. Skies continue to get darker here at TD Ameritrade, and the next 3-2. Ball 4. Another run comes in for Arkansas as Sawyer walks Eric Cole.
I don't have a good feeling about the weather right now.
Wait a minute.
Oh, really? What?
You've had a good feeling the whole time.
Oh. See, look. I was right.
Nope. The home plate umpire has been informed by the grounds crew official it is time to bring everybody in. There must be lightning in the area, so we'll give Eduardo 1, Peterson nothing as far as forecastability.
Don't argue against Cantori.
Van Horn also gets another notch in his belt, and for Van Horn in Arkansas, they're going to leave this delay up 5-2 with the bases loaded, and their number 2 hitter Casey Martin coming to the plate.
Might be the best thing that happened to the Longhorns right now. The way this inning has been going, just to get a little break in the action for them.
No, the relief corps for Texas has not gotten the job done. Parker Robinson came in, walked a couple. Sawyer comes in, walks Cole. Arkansas's got 2 runs in the 5th, 2 more here in the 6th, and are threatening for more. They are anticipating rain as the tarp is being put onto the field here at TD Ameritrade. All part of the deal when you come to Omaha and the Heartland. Quick recap, 5th inning of this one. They had a double play and they threw it away, and that mistake allowed the inning to continue for Arkansas. A bit of contact, and when it did continue, the home run from Luke Bonfield drove in 2. Gave Arkansas a 3-2 lead. Then in the 6th inning, they haven't recorded an out. There have been 2 singles and 3 walks. And another couple of runs have come in. So 5-2 in favor of Arkansas, leading Texas in this opening round game for both of these teams. Obviously, you can look at it, this is a good break for Texas and just kind of slows it down for Arkansas. They can't wait to get back on the field to keep what's going.
Yeah, I mean, when you show back up, you get the bases loaded and nobody out. I mean, it's still a pretty good place to come back. And honestly, they're in a really good spot from a bullpen standpoint. Now you can make a few decisions. They put a few more on the board, and you don't have to throw your best guys out there. Now, you got a day off tomorrow anyway, so if you got to use everybody for an inning, even 2, then everybody should be live still coming back in game 2 of this series. But still, Arkansas clearly in the driver's seat right now.
Yeah, they are. They're clearly in the driver's seat. But you have to, you look back at that double play ball that should have been made. Hamilton not throwing it over correctly at first base cost them big time. You can't let a big bat like that come in, get that 2-run jack, and now they take the lead. It's a seesaw battle. It was a pitcher's battle to that point. But now you get into their bullpen, and it's a different story for the Texas Longhorns.
Yeah, and this was a day in which Blaine Knight started. He's 12-0. He's in line to go to 13-0. Didn't have his best stuff. And perhaps, at least to this point in the game, you're seeing the depth, the offense for Arkansas being a difference.
He didn't have his best stuff, but he got you 5 and ultimately left with the lead. And so I think that, so many ways, is a sign of a guy that really is an ace. Is on the days that they don't have it, how far can they get you? Can they get you enough to keep you in the ball game, or in this case, leave when you're ahead? And that's who Knight has become. Knight has become a real star for him. Is this what they expected to see as far as length going into the game and the ability to go out and dominate? No. But still, when you've got 3 or 4 guys in your bullpen you trust, you leave with a lead and handle the ball in the 6th, they can take that.
It's the experience factor also. You get in a situation like this where a lot of these players have not been in, and every inning seems to be like a crucial inning for them. a lot of energy. It's not like every inning's a high-stress inning. So those 80 pitches were in the regular season could be more. They could equal like 110 pitches. Those 80 with the weather, the way it was early, hot, it overexerted him a little bit.
Mississippi State in April, LSU in May. The only two teams in 39 that have been able to come back against Arkansas when they were down after 6 innings. The other 37 times, Arkansas went on to win the game. All right, we'll continue here from TD Ameritrade with Kyle Eduardo. You can see the skies over right field looking real dark. We'll talk Florida, the Gators, and their game coming up later tonight when we return. So a good conversation with Jackson Kowar and Brady Singer. And again, both now selected by the Kansas City Royals organization. So just given what you've seen at the collegiate level and knowing what those two guys are all about and made of, good personalities, who can laugh at themselves a little bit, you'd figure the Royals are in pretty good shape. You remember last year talking about how they have the ability to see that translate to the next level really quickly.
Honestly, I think you have two different guys, too. I mean, Singer, I think you have a guy to where you know exactly what you've got. And you can probably push him a little bit faster than you can with Kowar. I think with Kowar, you have a guy that has more upside.
He's got a lot of upside.
I think you have somebody that, from a pure stuff standpoint, maybe has a little bit more. Fastball's got a little bit more. The changeup is Major League ready right now. Singer's slider's Major League ready right now. So I mean, they're guys that I think are each going to have a chance to pitch for a while. And I think it's, you know, for two guys that are roommates for 3 years, you get a chance to go to the same organization when you go to pro ball and both say you're first rounders. That's pretty cool. Oh, and by the way, we won a national title.
Right.
It's not a bad run.
No, two guys that know how to win. Yeah. They know how to pitch, and they know how to push each other, which I think is very important. And it's interesting that they've been roommates for all this time. And if you look at it, why hasn't one taught the other the changeup and the other one the slider? It's not that easy.
No.
Yet they're hoping that now with the Kansas City Royals organization, they'll be able to learn that craft and it'll translate to success for them.
Right. Well, this was a good idea to get the delay going because it's like hailing outside right now and it's coming down really hard.
It's going to rain.
Go ahead, Laura.
Yeah, guys, I'm getting pelted, but it's kind of fun. It feels good after the heat. Just wanted one more ad on the Brady Singer and Jackson Kowar relationship. It's pretty cool. They really have motivated each other, especially Kowar motivating Singer, and a lot of it actually had to do with Casey Mize this year because in the SEC, everyone's talking about Mize. He's going to be the #1 overall pick, and you know Brady Singer came in thinking, hey, maybe that would be me. And one of the things that Kowar would say to him throughout the season was, remember, dude, Mize is going to be the #1 overall pick, because he knew every time he said that it would fire Brady Singer up that much more. Of course, those two end up facing off in a super regional, and in that particular game, Singer outdueled Mize by a mile. So you know that has been a fire that fueled him throughout the season, and definitely continually reminded by his buddy Kowar about Mize.
2018 College World Series. Blaine Knight started. He is in line to get a victory. If he does, he'll go to 13-0. And yes, the weather delay, using the term weather loosely, 2 hours and 47 minutes. Eduardo Perez and Kyle Peterson, Laura Rutledge down on the field. She reported to us during the rain delay and on SportsCenter earlier that this guy, Chase Sugart, was going to come in. He's really good at 5'10", 180 pounds. He has pitched in a situation like this, bases loaded, no out. He's faced 14 batters this season, and he has allowed 1 hit. 1 may be too many in this situation, but he figures this is our time to shut the door.
You know, he's been their best over the last 3 weeks or so, both in the starting role and out of the bullpen, and I think that's exactly why Texas rolls the dice right here. No chance like now. I mean, you get the bases loaded, nobody out for them to have any real chance. I think they need to get out of this jam. But then that decides what they do next as Cameron Field starts to warm up in that Texas bullpen. This is probably Sugart's inning, and depending on what Texas does offensively, they decide what to do next from there.
I like it. I
do too. And I didn't when I heard it first.
Right. In the beginning, we both looked at each other and said, whoa, wait. But if you look at the situation, if he can get out of this jam right here with that 2 hour and 40-some minute rain delay, the momentum now shifts towards Texas, and they know that, and Arkansas also knows that.
Fourth pitcher that Texas has used, and as we had talked about. Previous relievers couldn't get anybody out. We'll start with Casey Martin. Once again, bases loaded, nobody out. Arkansas has pushed 2 across here in the bottom of the 6th. And a little blooper with the outfield playing deep. That's going to be a single. It's going to knock in a run. And 1 pitch, 1 run, 6-2 Arkansas. That's how you come out of a 2-hour and 47-minute rain delay.
Mason Himmler in left field has been playing deep the entire day. Pitch gets up, a slider, jams him. He's strong enough, Martin's strong enough to be able to get it to the outfield, but you look at Himmler, he's way back there. Bases remain loaded.
Heston Kjerstad has hit the ball hard 3 times. Single, double, RBI, and hit into a fielder's choice on a laser shot to first base. That was the play we showed earlier on SportsCenter when McKenzie fielded it, threw it to his shortstop. The double play they couldn't convert, and that led to the Bonfield home run. Heston Kjerstad. 2-0. Sugar, the likely Game 2 starter. Remember, these 2 teams off tomorrow, so a day of rest. But that extra run may mean this is just a 1-inning affair for Sugar. Benefit of a low strike zone there. It is 2-1. Sugar throws between 90 and 95. Slider, curveball, change occasionally. Kjerstad does it again. His 3rd hit. And 2 runners are coming home, and they will both score. Heston Kjerstad blows it open. Arkansas 8, Texas 2 on his 3rd hit of the day. And 3 RBIs for Kjerstad.
SEC Freshman of the Year is enjoying this ballpark right now. And he showed you a little bit of everything offensively. This ball, fastball, elevated outer half. And Kjerstad has the ability to do that. He is not afraid to drive the ball the other way. He's now done it twice in this ball game. Watch Eric Cole on second base. There is no doubt on this one. That's a jump that allows him to come around and score easily. Jax Biggers had to wait just to make sure it fell. Cole on his heels, and I would go get Sugar right now.
Yep.
Right now. You got 3 runs already in. Now you're down 6. You only have 9 outs to play with. I don't see a reason to run a pitch count up when you know you're going to need him in 2 days.
Well, that's the beauty of it. If they were pitching, if they were playing tomorrow, I get it. They have a day off. He can go probably 15 pitches right here. After that, you can't go anymore.
Bonfield homered last inning. 2-run shot.
I get it. Okay.
On the line.
What if they hit 3 more balls right in the screws? Or if he throws 8 balls in a row? Like mentally, I want him out right now. I want him out. I want to push the reset button in 2 days. They put a few. I mean, listen, the first one was not a great. It was a backup slider that got in on the hands of Martin. That was just a pretty good swing by Kjerstad.
Foul.
How about the idea that if you take him out of the game now, literally like before this at bat started, like nothing good has happened to Sugar. Maybe he's waiting for him to just get it out. Could feel a little better when you walk off the field.
Could be the psychological standpoint there.
Deep thinker.
Yes, you are.
Didn't think we'd battle these.
We have been for about 2 hours. Shadows are on the field. And again, don't forget our second game starts about 55 minutes after this one. The 2-1 on the way to Luke Bonfield. Inside corner, 2-2. Well, the theory of the rain delay, perhaps taking the momentum away from Arkansas, hasn't played out. 7 straight Hogs have reached base. Inside, 3-2. Cam Fields working in that Texas bullpen. He appears to be ready. It'll be Texas's 5th pitcher of the game. Hit him on the elbow, and that'll load the bases up, and that should do it for Sugar.
There's a lot of thinking going on right now in that man's head. Not what he planned, and you're right. Now it's time to go get him.
Yeah, they've already signaled, Pierce has, to the bullpen, so the Sugar experiment was an effort that didn't work out. And since our rain delay, nothing's really changed except the scoreboard. Arkansas has added 3 runs to its total. Still nobody out, still bases loaded. Cam Fields, your turn. Back to the College World Series here on ESPN2 after this quick timeout. By Capital One. Carl Ravitch, Kyle Peterson, Eduardo Perez. 6:23 local time here. Laura Rutledge down on the field. 7:23 in the East. And this has been an ugly one for Texas. Cameron Fields next up, the freshman out of Garland, Texas, at 6'2", 190 pounds. He can hit 95 on the gun as well. Raw, but when it's going well and somebody they believe, Kyle, will be really effective the next couple of years, he can be overpowering.
Yep, big time high school quarterback. And Texas likes the upside as far as what Cam Fields is going to bring him on the mound too. Not exactly the spot that you want to get the freshman in for the first time in a College World Series, but you got to do something besides Chase Sugar. I mean, there's no reason for him to go out there and fire more bullets when you know you're going to need him in 2 games. So go to the freshman Fields here, see if he can get him out of this one.
5th different Texas pitcher used this inning. In the previous 4 gave up 5 runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, a hit batter, and they didn't get anybody out. So the bullpen has been ineffective. Bases loaded. Dom Fletcher. Foul ball by about 3 inches. Otherwise he may have cleared them all.
And to the defense of the bullpen, they haven't been able to come in a clean inning or with no one on base. They've always had inherited runners. You see this one just barely staying foul. They have to come in the zone. If they start off behind, that's where they get in a lot of trouble.
Game started at 2 o'clock Eastern time. Fletcher, one of the guys identified by Dave Van Horn as someone who's got to step up here if we want to win this whole thing. Singled his first time up. And he rips one into right field. 1 run's going to score from third. That's Martin. Kerstad, he's coming in. They get 2 more. It's 10-2. And Dominic Fletcher picks up his 2nd hit and first 2 RBIs of the College World Series. All Hogs right now.
And a hanging slider at that. Nice piece of hitting right there by Dominic Fletcher. Pitch up in the zone, stays in. Watch how he brings those hands in. Short arms. A Rubio Durazo style right there.
Yes.
A former Diamondback.
Yes, a Rubio Durazo. I faced him 20 years ago or whatever it was, but yes, I like that.
Pulling in a Rubio Durazo.
Shortest arms I've ever seen on a ball player. For that size.
Carson Shaddy got into the act this inning. Single, scored a run. Now batted around here. Shaddy led things off. Most runs that Texas has allowed in an inning this season is 7. That was against Arkansas in the 3rd inning of March 13th. They have allowed 7 runs this inning. It drifts into the seats. Ready to tag from third base was Luke Bonfield. I like it. I like it. Who's your Shaddy? You in on that? You're a big shirt guy. Yeah, you're all about shirts.
I'm a big shirt guy.
Social
when did
media.
this happen?
Oh, social media blowing up with some of your suggestions on shirts. They
Hunt
turn
fish,
things.
throw sliders.
Yeah. Shaddy into right field. And the drumbeat continues. Arkansas picks up hit number 14 in the game. Shaddy delivers his second this inning.
And you have to give a lot of credit to the Arkansas offense here also. They've used the entire field.
Yeah.
You got left-handed hitters. Kierstead has hit the ball the opposite way, driving in runs. When they pitch him inside, he pulls it. Here, Shaddy, pitch outside. Doesn't try to do too much with it with runners in scoring position. There's a plan to their attack.
Here it is. 6 singles, 3 walks, a hit batter, 8 runs. They had that huge weather delay. And 5 Texas pitchers have been used. 10 straight Hogs have reached. The only guy that hasn't scored a run this inning for Arkansas is Dominic Fletcher. And he's standing out there at second base.
Boys, there's nobody out.
Nope. No 10-run rule in baseball at the College World Series. Jared Gates. More importantly, you saw the number. Arkansas, they have had a terrific tournament when it comes to their offense. And as balanced as they are, you probably where you slot them behind Florida, behind Texas Tech.
Offensively?
Yeah.
I think you can throw all 3 of them and
Same
pick
breath?
which. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, a terrific start for the Razorbacks here at the College World Series. Gates has 3 hits. Now Gates. Nope, that one's caught. Looked like it might drop. The wind, which was blowing in at around 14, has subsided a little bit. But they finally get it out, and a mock cheer goes up here at TD Ameritrade. Jared Gates bidding for his 4th hit in 4 at-bats, flies out to right. The number 8 hitter, Grant Cook, he's your catcher. Walked and scored this inning. Strike 1 at 94 miles an hour. Look, if you're a silver lining guy, I mean, one thing that has happened is almost all the relievers that would be used for Texas over the course of the tournament have gotten their feet on the mound here at Omaha. So they at least now know, what the stage feels like, what the mound feels like.
Yeah, and if you got to fight your way back through the losers bracket, which it looks like Texas is going to have to do, you're going to need them all.
Popped up on the infield. Infield fly rule was in effect. 2 down.
Everybody except Fletcher has scored. 3 have scored twice. Cole, Kierstead, Bonfield. Kierstead 3 hits. Jared Gates 3 hits. Pretty complete offensive day for the Hogs.
Biggers is looking for his first hit. He has scored a run, had a walk. With a hard fastball over the plate, 93 miles an hour. Florida, Texas Tech, about an hour after we are complete with this game. with the home team leading by 9 now.
Outside.
What a luxury for Arkansas, knowing exactly what the score is. They can maneuver their bullpen right now, up by 9.
Losky has been in this game through 19 pitches. They've kept him warm, so he's coming back in.
I'm surprised, given this offense, that Losky's still throwing. 5-2 game that I think, yeah, I would get it. 11-2 game, I don't know that I do.
You talk about getting their feet wet. That's exactly what you would want to do also with that bullpen in Arkansas.
Guys, Dave Van Horn said Barrett Losky's coming back in this game until he isn't. Basically, I think he wanted to wait and see how many runs they could put on the board, of course, knowing they'd start this inning with the bases loaded and see what happened.
Which I get.
There's 8
but
already.
Since that point, they got 6 more. You know? I mean, Cole Ramage threw in this game a little bit, started to warm up. Yeah, just surprised it's not Ramage or somebody else. I didn't think we'd see Reindl. I didn't think we'd see Cronin, who are with Losky, the 3 main guys out of that bullpen.
3-2. Arkansas and Texas met in March, and Arkansas did just this to the Longhorns then. Kyle was at that series. It has that feel now. It does. It didn't, of course, through the first 4 innings, but it's got that feel again. And 3-2 chases what would have been ball 4 into the seats. Look out. That didn't make any contact, and now rounding third, but staying is Fletcher on a ball 4.
Well, remember I told you guys earlier about momentum? Arkansas took care of that momentum. They kept it on their side.
It's now shifted back.
Big time. No weather is going to bother these Razorback fans or the team.
David Pierce wearing the number 16 as a tribute to Augie Garrido comes on out, takes the ball. We'll have ourselves another pitcher for the Longhorns coming in. Trying to get some confidence for Andy McGuire. He's on the mound when we return to Omaha. 11-2 Hogs. On the mound, and McGuire has been their closer this season. The last couple of times he's been on the mound, he has really struggled. So here's an opportunity for them to kind of get perhaps Andy McGuire a little confidence. Junior at 6'1", 210. Blue Jays picked him in the 28th round. And you can see his career timeline. There have been some peaks and some valleys.
He was a big-time recruit. I mean, one of the top recruits in the country. Plays early, then actually transferred. But when he transferred, decided maybe that wasn't exactly what he wanted to do. Comes back. And now really against all odds, and it's not just McGuire. Parker Joe Robinson fits into this too. I mean, guys that you didn't expect to be Jake McKenzie playing first base, you didn't think would be big parts of this Texas club, have been giant parts of this Texas club. Now McGuire trying to get some of those good thoughts back because he hasn't been great the last few weeks, but over the balance of the season has been outstanding.
Three-quarter arm slot, which you're seeing as he's warming up here.
The College World Series Finals begin Monday, June 25th at 7 on ESPN.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if necessary. Start with a field of 64. Go through your regionals, then you go through your super regionals, and then you come here with the 8 teams: Arkansas, Florida, Mississippi State, Carolina, Oregon State, Texas, Texas Tech, and Washington. Those are the 8 still standing. See what Andy McGuire has to Eric Cole. Swinging on the first pitch, fouls it off the catcher, DJ Petrinsky.
And this is where, if you're a coach, you're a little concerned about your infielders also. They've been standing around for a while. Any ground ball, you need to keep them moving. That's when they get a little lazy. 9-run game right now, bottom of the 6th, bases loaded, 2 outs. The focus has to remain.
We put this as one of the longest 6th innings you've ever experienced.
3 spot.
3 hour 6th. I could see where that was going. He was awake and had no facial hair when the inning started. He's now gone Rip Van Winkle on us.
Amazing accomplishment.
Yep, Mark Amento is our chief researcher. He's decided to throw some fuel on the fire. On the ground. We're done. 62 pitches, 62 in that inning. Demers last night in 7 1/3 through 74.
A fantastic coach. He was a better teacher of the game. I learned that firsthand when both Casey and Cody had the opportunity to play for Coach Garrido. I went up to watch a practice, and I had not met Augie. And as soon as I turned the corner, he yelled me by my nickname, Rocket, get your butt over here and sit down. And it was like we knew each other forever. I told the boys I was fortunate. I played for the winningest coach in baseball history, and Coach Cliff Gustafson. And then they had the opportunity to go to Texas and play for Augie, who was the winningest coach in baseball history.
Cliff Gustafson, he won a couple of championships with Texas. Augie Garrido a couple as well, 3 with Cal State Fullerton. Augie wore number 16, and as you can see, David Pierce doing the same thing today. It's a tribute to the former Texas coach Augie Garrido, who passed away in March at the age of 79. There were all sorts of plans for Augie. Players wanted to have him come to see them play and wanted to use him as a huge resource. He died unexpectedly in March at the age of 79, so those plans all changed, but his presence certainly being felt. And you can see the World Treats winners a lot different than the Treats losers. One of the many quotes attributed to Augie.
He has plenty.
He's got a lot of them.
Neat moment earlier this year too. Augie Garrido, Skip Bertman both throwing out first pitches at LSU. 2 of the most respected guys that have ever been in this profession. But yeah, it's just a different feel without him around, because whether his team was here or not, he was always here in some way. At least to show up and hang out for a few days. Barrett Losky back out there for Arkansas. Again, a surprise. Didn't think that we would see him after the 8 runs that Arkansas put on the board. I'd be really surprised if he goes any longer than this one.
Yeah. You got activity out there in the Arkansas bullpen. It's been about 3 hours, over 3 hours, since he last threw a pitch. You've got Cole Ramage, number 28. 2 strikes on Mason Hibbler. 7, 8, 9 for Texas. Yep. And that's strike 3. Okay. Let's go down to Laura.
Well, Carl, Blaine Knight actually started this game for Arkansas and is still in line for the win, which make him 13-0 this season. And we reported earlier that he was taken out of the game because he just didn't have his best stuff. Well, ended up doing a little more investigation on that, and it turns out that his tricep and his throwing arm, that right tricep, was cramping up on him around the second and third inning. They were trying to work through it, just trying to see if they could get the cramp out. He said it's happened to him before, and it just never fully came out, which was what led to him not having his best stuff. Want to reiterate that he's completely fine and actually asked if he could go back in the game. Had to be reminded by pitching coach Wes Johnson that this isn't softball. You can't re-enter, Blaine. But he was ready to go back once that cramp was relieved in that right tricep.
You're not in the game anymore. Right. You can't go back in.
But now, as Paul Harvey would say, we have the rest of the story.
Stand by for news.
Loski to Tate Shaw. And that's a souvenir for those still here. Many fans lining up outside general admission for tonight's second game between Texas Tech and the Gators of Florida, the defending College World Series champion.
That one's going to be good now. That one's going to be real good. Texas Tech, a club that, again, preseason top 5. Had a little lull in the middle of the season. Played great at the end of the year. No stranger to this place. Obviously, neither are the Gators.
34 of the last 37 College World Series champions won their first game. So this is a big one for all the teams that are playing in these opening round games, and a big one, as Kyle just said, tonight. Winner of this one will get the winner of that one, and the loser will play the loser in an elimination game.
Looking forward to seeing Brady Singer again on the mound here in Omaha.
2-2.
Jonathan India, 5th pick in the nation. Went to the Cincinnati Reds in the first round.
And you could see, for Texas Tech, you could see a first-round third baseman again next year. Josh Young, not draft eligible this year, will be next year. But a guy that's going to hear his name called really early next year in the draft.
He has an idea up there at the plate.
Yeah, he does.
Knows what to do.
So the Gators have the SEC Player of the Year in India. They have the Pitcher of the Year in Singer, and they had the Coach of the Year in Kevin O'Sullivan. So they cleared the deck. They went strike, strike, strike. And they played, you know, you win the championship, you get a target on your back, but those pitchers coming back, you get everybody's best shot every game you're playing.
Back 2.
Shaw runs down to second base. He, by the way, is 3 for 3. He's got a triple and 2 singles in this game. And Loski is ahead 0-2 to Ryan Reynolds. Called strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Hibbler and now Reynolds. And we go to Hamilton, the top of the order. A couple of things that Arkansas has accomplished in this game. They are the 3rd team to score at least 8 in an inning at the College World Series since it moved here. Florida had 11 against Miami in 15. Vandy had 9 against Virginia in 14. And they matched a season high with 8 runs in an inning. They did that back in February in the second inning against Dayton. .34 pitches now for the righty. And now behind 3-0.
This would, for me, be the last hitter for him. Yep. 35 pitches. You have one warming up already in the pen. Yes, you have day off tomorrow. But why extend them when you have a 9-run lead?
like Dave Van Horn is going to say, let's get out of this inning. Let's clean it up. Roski's going to continue to throw to Duke Ellis after a 4-pitch walk. It's a close one. He doesn't get it. 1-0. Here the umpire telling Grant Cook that pitch was up. Ellis hasn't gotten a hit in 3 at-bats.
Yeah, it looks to me like you lost it. Yeah, you end up having a 2-hour and 47-minute rain delay. Throw a couple pitches. Here comes Coach Van Horn.
That right arm already came up. I don't think Frank Sylvester, the third base umpire, saw it, but Dave Van Horn took 2 steps off of the top step, and the right arm immediately went up. And I'm with you, Eddie. I mean, that's not easy to do. I know he didn't throw too many pitches before the rain delay, but the reality is you can throw and keep your legs loose and do everything else, but that's not an easy thing to come back and be anywhere close to as sharp as he was before. So that'll do it for Loski. Looks like it'll be Ramage coming out of the bullpen for Arkansas to try to get out of the 7th. Still all Hawks, so 11-2 on a day where one of the best offenses in the country has shown you exactly why.
The season debut of the great Jim Bowden on Sunday night. Countdown. Red Sox just completed a win over the Mariners 9-3. Orioles got a win today 10-4. Blue Jays beat the Nats 8-6. Indians over the Twins 4-1. Reds beat the Pirates. Braves get another win over the Padres. Yankees only score 1 today. The Rays beat them by a score of 3-1. Sabathia pitched well in a loss. Tigers win. Phillies over the Brewers 10-9. 19 and 25 hits in that game. Astros don't lose anymore. They beat the Royals 7-4.
They don't.
Rangers over the Rockies by 1, 13-12. Your Angels lose, Eddie, in 11, 6-5 to the A's. The Mets get a win in Arizona. The Giants over the Dodgers 4-1. You're up to date on all your MLB action. If you weren't watching baseball tonight, Sunday Night Countdown, and you were into the college game tonight.
Now you get Cole Ramage.
Now you get Cole Ramage on the mound.
Freshman right-hander who they really like the upside for Ramage, coming in the spot right here trying to get Arkansas back in, and it could be a spot to where Ramage finishes this one out for Arkansas too.
Picks it up with a 2-0 count. Quickly comes in, throws a 91-mile fastball down the middle for a strike. 2-1 to Duke Ellis. Arkansas puts 8 on the board in a disjointed 6th inning. That featured a 2-hour and 47-minute rain delay. Ellis pops that one back here. That ball had some significant spin on it. I believe it went right into one of the luxury suites after hitting about 15 feet shy of it. Congrats to your Florida State Seminole. Brooks Koepka wins another United States Open Golf Championship back-to-back.
Knowles having a good one. Softball now.
Yeah.
Little slider there. Ramage gets Ellis to swing over it. 6.5 done. Arkansas coming back to see if they can add to a 9-run lead.
Someone sent a picture of a hog hat, and then Zach Barr, our video guy, was like, I'll make this happen.
The feeling that you get when you put it on your head is a battle scar.
Honestly, it kind of hurts. Hunter slams it on. I mean, it's pretty cool having that on.
The coolest part is just all the fans they eat it up, man. They love it.
We've had it slammed on 1 time today. There you go. The hair back and throw the hog head on. Luke Bonfield bombs away in the 5th inning.
It's waiting.
And it is always standing by.
You pull the hair back like that on your teammate, you know it's not his first rodeo.
No. Nope.
Guys, Heston Kjerstad actually is the keeper of the hog hat. They decided to give it to a freshman just to make sure that he could keep track of it, give him some responsibility, you know. And so Dominic Fletcher is actually his roommate here in Omaha. And on the team photo day, Heston forgot the hog hat.
Ooh.
It was a major faux pas.
I mean, you're right. That's
a finable offense.
That's a right of responsibility. You know, if you're ever thinking about having children, we need you to be able to take care of them. And we can't even keep the hog hat.
Natural first step.
Next step, pet, you know, dog, but the hog hat, not good. Well, Casey Martin leads things off with a single, and here comes Heston Kjerstad. A couple of defensive replacements for Texas. Austin Todd has gone in to play left field. Michael McMahon is now behind the plate. Kjerstad has got 3 hits, and he conceivably could have had a 4th on a rope to first base. There's McCann, and again, he caught about 45% of the innings last season. And there's Austin Todd in left.
Out of here.
Now, give me a breakdown of Kjerstad's swing, what you love about it.
I like how quiet he is with his feet. Still strong, but quiet with his stride. His hands don't move at all. So he's quick inside, but he understands that he does not have to think in. He can drive the ball the other way with authority, and he can react in. That's how quiet it is. Level throughout. I mean, this is a freshman we're talking about here.
There's such a comfort level with taking the ball the other way. I mean, that's what he was trying to do right here. And there's power that way too. I mean, he's got the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark really from foul pole to foul pole.
All-time freshman batting averages at Arkansas. He's right there. So is his teammate Martin. That one's outside.
1-2.
I mean, I look at the stance a little bit, and it reminds me of Sean Casey back in the day.
Okay.
Stand up straight. But the bat head stays in the zone a long time.
I like the comp, but if you're going to throw a comp out there and it's Sean Casey and you're Kjerstad, you're thinking this is money, because that dude could kill the ball.
And you look at what Sean Casey used to do is drive the ball to left field all the time. Little by little, he learned how to pull that baseball. See right there, he can cover that pitch, foul it off if he has to. We've seen him also hit the pitch up in the zone.
The mayor, Sean Casey, Mr. Personality.
He talked to everybody standing up first base, wouldn't he?
Everybody. He's still talking for a living.
Yeah.
He's my teammate in Cincinnati. Go up to the plate. He had a routine. He would ask the umpire, "Hey, how's the family? How's everybody doing? Doing good? Yeah, all right." Catcher. Then he'd do the same thing with the catcher.
It was a lot nicer than you were with umpires. You just told them how wrong they were.
Yep.
I just told them where I thought the pitch was. Even though I was wrong, sometimes I'd say it was 2 inches outside. Might have been 2 inches in the zone.
Foul tip into the glove. And Kjerstad is retired with a strikeout. Here comes our home run hitter, Luke Bonfield. That's what it looked like in the 5th inning with a man on.
That's what changed his game. That's what absolutely changed his game. Double play ball that could have been a double play just before that, thrown into the dugout, keeps the inning going. Bonfield hits it in the seats. Gave Arkansas a 1-run lead, and they would keep on going. That's the only home run we've had so far at this College World Series.
His 9th home run of this season out of Skillman, New Jersey. He was a 21st round pick of the Mets back in 2014. He went to the IMG Academy as a high school senior.
Foul ball.
Fouled off his foot. Last 3 seasons, 25 homers, 127 RBI, 107 runs. Good career in college.
Absolutely.
Remember your numbers in college, totals?
Totals? No. I know. First year was a blur.
2-1.
Went by really quick freshman year. I wish I would had the year Heston Kjerstad had as a freshman.
Well, you were just happy to be there.
I was just happy to be there. Last year was better.
Dominated. Bonfield jammed, pops that up. I love it. Pitcher went over to sniff it, and then he's realized, like, yep, that's not going to be for me. Reynolds makes the catch. 2 men down.
Start looking at the offensive pieces that Arkansas has and just projectable guys. Cole's got a real chance to play in the big leagues. Casey Martin's got a chance to be a top 5 overall pick, I think, in 2 years. Kjerstad is going to be a high first rounder when he comes up. This guy, I think, is a guy that you're going to see in the big leagues at the center field position. Eddie, we talk about him defensively, and it's absolutely there. The power's really there, too. He hasn't swung it as consistently this year as he did last year. He's really having some issues early in the season. I mean, there's some firepower in this offense.
$11 home runs for Eduardo Perez. So what you got? Second year there?
Third.
The total. Third year 11.
11. 15 total.
58 ribs.
That was my junior year.
Wait a minute. What?
Yes.
Kyle, seriously.
Yes.
What happened?
Eduardo's last year at Florida State. How many bags did he steal?
25.
Thank you, Kyle.
How many?
30. Straight away center field, and Shaw doing it about face. The wind's got it, and he'll stop right there and make the catch. They used to call you Wheels? What did they call you back then? Speedy?
The Big Cat.
The Big Cat. I thought that was Andres Galarraga. I can't believe I was confusing the two of you. Texas Tech and Florida coming up 55 minutes after we are done.
Happy Father's Day.
Oh, thanks. I am. Thank you. Appreciate that.
With kids?
3 girls.
Happy Father's Day.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate it.
You're playing baseball, right?
Yeah. You called your dad?
What?
Called your dad? Here we go.
Well, Father's Day shout out from Cody Clemens to the home plate umpire, Joe Burleson.
Trying to get a strike a little bit more of the corner. Just a little bit.
See what he can do in the top of the 8th. Not good.
Wow. That's a real breaking ball.
Hard breaking ball that starts right in that sun, which is just now covering Ramage on the mound, and then it goes right into that shade. May have done more than call him. He probably said right to him, Happy Father's Day, Dad. Rocket here.
0-2.
Watching Cody. It's been a great last couple of weeks for Cody. He's basically been given every award you could possibly be given.
They switch you out. Thank you.
Off a season in which he's hitting about .355 with 24 homers, 72 RBIs. He's a Golden Spikes and Hauser finalist. Does have a hit last time up, ripped one into left, no hit there. He's checked out. Give me a little Clemens baseball family. Debbie in the middle. And the Rockets surrounded by his 4 boys, all whose names begin with K. Pitched in 82 and 83, won the championship with a complete game win over Alabama here. 7-time Cy Young winner. Kobe, Casey, Cody, all drafted in the major leagues. Kobe back in 05, Casey, and of course this season, Cody.
Casey in the Florida State League now. Rocket go down spring training, hang out a little bit.
Corey decided to go the other way. He is a chef in Houston, Texas.
Little low, little out.
Somebody's got to eat.
Somebody's got to eat, and those boys probably can eat. Zach Zubia, the designated hitter.
2-1.
You guys have both been in games like this. What's your takeaway from it, from both winning and losing side of it?
I'll let you have the winning side first, Kyle.
Well, you'd rather win. That I know.
Really?
Yeah. Sleep a little bit better. No, I mean, you're off and running. I think that's the biggest thing. And the beauty of this tournament is they got to beat you twice to knock you out. I think I'm supposed to have the winning side. Yeah, you feel good. Feel really good. Especially if you go out and you feel like all parts of it were pretty good.
Like, this is what we've done all year, and even on this stage, we're still doing it. I would think that would be against a good, obviously the competition here is very good.
I mean, we got Blaine Knight, not his best start, but still's got a chance to win the ball game, go 13-0. We got some guys in the bullpen, some work. Offensively, we did what we've done the entire season. The only knock on Arkansas was they had not played all that well away from home. They'd been great at home, but had not played all that well away from home. Well, you can cross that off the list now because they played pretty well today.
They did. And you look at what they've done defensively also, it's really worked for them. But if you're Texas, you learn from this. You got your feet wet. You got a lot of the pitchers from the bullpen in the game. And now it's all hands on deck. You have to play every game like Game 7. Forget about who's going to be available the next day. You have to be able to win that game from here on out. And they have the ability to do so, too. They can win.
They lost game 1 of the Super, had to come back, beat Tennessee Tech twice to get to this point. So I think that's part of the rallying cry after this is we were in the same place a week ago. Won 2 straight to get to this point. Why stop now?
Three and one now to McCann, who has been brought in to play catcher. Ramage has struck out all 3 men he has faced. I think it's not lost on Cody Clemens either what his dad told him. You know, you leave here and your college career ends. You've been able to go to Omaha in the College World Series. And in spite of the outcome, you're not going to have another experience like this until really you get called up to the major leagues. And if you're fortunate enough, you get to the playoffs and or the World Series. But this is a very unique experience.
Yes.
And Roger looked back on it and he expressed this idea of you're with your buddies. You're with your best friends. You spent 3 years with them. And you're at the College World Series. Don't lose sight of what this is about. That's a fair ball, and that one is going to go off the wall down there, and into second base goes McKenzie. McCann pulls up at third base. Good rip from Jake McKenzie, his first hit here at the College World Series.
Look at Caddy. All right, then. You bet, my
well,
friend.
we were having that conversation. It was interesting. That 3-1 pitch to Petrinsky was a curveball. Ball 4 with 2 outs, nobody on base, maybe working on something on the mound. But then you get the double, and now you have runners at second and third. Put yourself in a hole. A couple high-stress pitches right here. Facing Austin Todd.
On the inside corner for a strike. McCann's at third, McKenzie at second. Both defensive replacements now getting their chance at the plate. McCann with the walk. Austin Todd, a 200 average this season. Doesn't have a home run, 11 RBIs.
Saw a lot of action last year. Had an injury. Hasn't been able to get back in that lineup. Not a lot of reps.
Got jammed, little blooper, shallow right field, coming hard and not able to make the play. And both runners with 2 outs on the move, and they come across. Austin Todd's first College World Series appearance results in a hit and 2 RBIs. Now 11-4.
Take that one, doesn't matter how. Fastball gets in on his hands, flared out to right. Cole playing deep enough that he can't get there, just fights this one off. Wind helps a little bit too, knocks it down out to right field. So Michael McCann comes in as a defensive replacement. He walks and scores. Austin Todd's first at bat. He drives him in.
Tate Shaw next up. Ramage's pitch is high after he struck out the first 3 guys he faced: the walk, the double, and the single. Take a little 4-for-4 day at the College World Series with a hit. Cook's going to go out and talk to Ramage. Todd sprinted down to second base.
Wes Johnson didn't want to have to use that phone anymore today. Kind of hoping they could leave that one on. Sitting where they didn't have to talk to anybody down in the bullpen. Bryce Bonnet, a freshman, up and warming. Isaiah Campbell answers the phone there. I don't think we will see him get a glove.
I think we were looking for the word cradle there, like, because we don't really put the phone back onto anything anymore. So what was the word you were
think
looking
I was
for?
lost there for a minute? What are you talking about?
Yeah, usually you hang it back up.
That's a pregnant pause. It was I knew where I was going. I just couldn't quite figure out the route. But I do appreciate you pointing it out.
But now that we did it, what is it? Where do you hang the phone back up?
On the hanger upper.
I mean, it's just not something you see anymore.
No, you
a
don't.
phone attached to a wall. So
I was lost.
When you're hanging it back up, usually you're putting it back into what? Like I said, the cradle. I mean, that clearly is not it. Like, what is he going to hang that phone back up onto? That has become the big question of the moment. Dave Van Horn slowly makes his way to the mound. Think about that. Hanging the phone back up on the wall. What are you hanging it up onto?
The thingamajig.
The NCAA College World Series is presented by the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. What's in your wallet? And in part by America's biopharmaceutical companies. Go boldly. And Boost Mobile.
Have you dove into that with some of the great playlists?
Yeah, I think they listen to a lot of James Taylor. 'Cause
Really?
why wouldn't you?
I love that idea.
No, I would say it's probably not Fire and Rain. It may be a good dose of Meek Mill or some Lil Wayne or maybe some Drake.
Yeah, Drake big with the kids. You see Eddie last night do the floss dance? Because that apparently also very big with the kids.
Yeah, Eddie's dance skills are great. And guys, I want to update you on the phone thing. I think you just put the phone back on the hook.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what it is.
There you go.
That's what I was thinking.
Put it on the hook. Because when that's right, when it was off the hook, you couldn't make a phone call. Thank you, Laura.
Bryce Bonnet is now on the hook in the game for Arkansas, the freshman. 11th time, most have come out of the bullpen. Just one start this year for the freshman.
He inherits a 2-men aboard, 2-out situation. First pitch way away. Ryan Reynolds is the number 9 hitter. And Bonnet not close. 2-0.
Talked earlier about the carryover effect. The carryover effect starts to wane a little bit. with this. I mean, if you're Arkansas, you just want to slam the door and let's get home. Yep. Let's go eat dinner somewhere, and just having a hard time doing that right now.
3-1. Stranger things have happened in baseball games. The idea that Cody Scroggins, with a 7-run lead in the 8th inning, is warming up gives you an indication as to where we are with the Arkansas pitchers right now. 3-1 on the way to Reynolds. Ball 4 and the bases are loaded. To your point, you're looking for just strike throwers. Just throw strikes. And again, very disjointed game that started at 2 o'clock Eastern time. We had a 2-hour and 47-minute rain delay in a 6th inning in which Arkansas began the scoring before the delay, then came back and tacked on what ended up being a total of 8 runs in the inning. And it blew the game wide open. Took a 3-2 game, made it 11-2. There's one in there, and Hamilton swings right through it, the leadoff batter. But they have sent 7 men to the plate already.
Well, a freshman out there that's thrown 10 innings the entire season, 18 2/3 innings in 10 appearances. He's
welcome to Omaha.
95 on the outside black with pretty good movement. This isn't a bad 7th or 8th option for Arkansas.
.96 miles an hour that one came in. Nope. 1-2.
Okay.
Florida and Texas Tech. You saw the Gators standing by. They will begin their game 55 minutes after this one is completed. And for Arkansas, they'd like to slam the door on this inning right here. 1-2 to Hamilton with the bases loaded. Foul tip into the mitt. Nope, dropped. So the inning stays alive. Bonnen's going to throw another pitch.
This was 95 miles per hour down. Foul tips it right there and just cannot handle it. As much as you want it, you're a hitter. You're praying for that ball to drop.
Two and two.
Change up right there. Young pitcher, he'll realize later on that the more he pitches, the more video they'll have on him. Good try with the change.
Three and two.
No reason to be too fine here either. Two-seam fastball's got good movement. Just start that thing right down the middle. Let the natural movement take it from there. Dave Van Horn's having thoughts in his head he didn't think he would have today.
No doubt about it. Here's your 3-2 to Hamilton. Down the middle, popped up, and playable on the infield. Jax Biggers makes the play. They strand 3. Arkansas coming up. Bottom 8, up by 7.
I may have had that game in Williamsport, Rav.
I would think you probably did. Might have had Scott Gustafson in your ear producing that bad boy. That's just an amazing thing, though, to think about the idea that you were covering him in Little League, and now you're seeing him, as you saw, the first Italian scholarship baseball player at Texas. And he looks good here. And boy, did he grow up. 6'4", over 200 pounds. I love that.
1-2.
We won't see Boki in a starting role in game 2, but if Texas can win that game and move on, he could potentially start a ball game here.
Ball is out. 2-2.
Fastball 92, 93. The slider's good. I think he's got a little movement. His Texas coaching staff didn't really know about him either. I mean, they went and recruited Mason Hibbler out of junior college. Hibbler's like, hey, we got this guy from Italy that's pretty good, and you got to take a look at him too. It's a good move.
Love the flag right there on the glove too. Got the Italian flag on the side of the glove. His bullpen continues to throw.
3-2. This one hits sky high and deep to left. Both the left fielder and center fielder at the wall. Look out! A big collision. And the ball held on to by the left fielder, Kjerstad. Check that. Not Kjerstad. Todd. Austin Todd held on to it. Look at the two smiling out there.
Shades of Freddie Lynn and Brian Downing. Anaheim years ago, these guys jumping in, going all out. Ball doesn't even go in the web, stays right there around the hand. Watch Todd, big glove. Well, I'm glad both of them are okay.
Tate Shaw gave him a pretty good lick out there. There's a lot of action for Austin Todd to come in, if you think about it. Got his first hit, knocked in a couple, and now gets knocked down by his own teammate. He's played like 2 innings.
Here you go.
Welcome to Omaha. Uh-oh. Forgot something.
I think they're going to stay there.
Right where you did.
Chatty just got under that, and the wind was blowing out there. We do have
Tate Shaw left an implant.
some sweat that has been left on the wall. Major League Baseball players, they'll go out there with some tape and they'll tape the entire body on the wall. Oh, that had some movement on the knuckles. I think that Austin Todd's going to put his head on the pillow tonight and say, I played today. I can show you too. Number 7 hitter with 3 hits today. A 14-hit attack for Arkansas. First baseman ranged way to his right. Now he hustles back there in time. McKenzie chased it down. Cody Clemens was there to have it. We're already turning the page to college basketball. Is that how it goes? In November, the Armed Forces Classic lands in El Paso, Texas. We'll be in Fort Bliss. The Razorbacks and the Longhorns are featured in that game. Hasn't been on the mainland since its inception. In fact, last year it was at Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany. So Shaka Smart and Mike Anderson will get an early season top matchup. They face off on ESPN November 9th, the Razorbacks and the Longhorns. And the Armed Forces Classic comes to the mainland for the first time. It has literally been all over the globe. Grant Cook. Single in the center field for Cook. And welcome to the hit parade. Grant Cook picks up his first hit of the day. That was quite an experience last year. I was there for that game at Ramstein Air Force Base. We were there about 4 days with Seth Greenberg and Jay Williams and the military and West Virginia in that game. West Virginia and Bob Huggins, and just their attention to the people that were there. That's a tremendous community. Both men, women, families, and they turned out for that game. And this year comes back to El Paso, Texas. Similar to the baseball game.
Fort Bragg.
At Fort Bragg.
Yeah. It's just really important to remember the military on days other than Memorial Day and Veterans Day and July 4th. And those events bring to light just how important the men and women of the armed services are. 2-0. Bokey delivers fastball center field. Shaw, without any help from any teammate, is there to make the play. Austin Todd, meet Tate Shaw. Tate Shaw, say hello to Austin Todd. And somebody pick up my glasses on the way back into the house. There we go.
Got him.
Attaboy.
Atta baby.
Need those. 11-4 heading to the ninth. That field hit well. Hibbler's going back. He's looking up. It's over the wall. Luke Bonfield, a 2-run shot, and the Razorbacks back on top. Our Capital One player of the game is that guy, Luke Bonfield. First home run that we have seen here at the 2018 College World Series. That 2-run home run in the 5th inning, as Kyle said, really changed the tone of this game.
Yep.
Put Arkansas up 3-2, and obviously they have added a ton of runs since then. What are we showing me there, Eddie? What do you got?
I got the Gators announced that J.J. Schwartz is going to be in the lineup, playing first base.
Starting at first base tonight. He knows that position well in this ballpark.
Sure does. It feels like J.J. Schwartz has been on the 9-year program. Every year they're here, he's here. He's got a chance to, I think, break some records for.
It's 4 in a row.
Plate appearances and or hits or some offensive statistics, given he's been here for 4 years. Tom Hart, Chris Burke, Ben McDonald, and Runes. Mike Rooney will have that call for you about 55 after we are through here. Cody Scroggins, 57, has come on to pitch for Arkansas as Texas down to their last 3 outs. And the first pitch misses to Duke Ellis. We'll get one more look at Cody Clemens tonight. Zach Zubia as well. There's Cody Clemens. A couple of strikeouts. He flew out to center field. He's got a single mixed in there as well. On Father's Day, heard our feature earlier today on SportsCenter, listening to Roger and Cody talk about their shared experience of playing here at the College World Series and what it was like growing up as a son of one of the great pitchers of all time in Roger Clemens. He used to dress the boys up in the uniforms of the teams that he was playing on Father's Day. Right down the middle for a strike, 3-1.
Eddie, you had that growing. I mean, what do you remember from growing up with being around the ballpark and everything your dad was doing?
It was my upbringing. It's what it's the normal life. If you look at it, everybody's always like, well, it's different. Well, not for us.
Right.
It was knowing what time Dad used to go to work and we used to go with him. And then we had our own games in the tunnels at Riverfront Stadium back in the day.
Yeah.
So we're looking at Pete Rose Jr., Ken Griffey Jr., Craig Griffey.
That was the game.
That's decent. That was the game.
That's
My brother would have rules what the walls were.
Oh yeah.
They were outs. On the ground was an out.
Was Griffey the best athlete then too?
I remember this time.
Clemens pops that up on the infield. Biggers goes out to get under it and makes the play. Clemens strikes out.
I remember there was a time where I was pitching and I was throwing a junior, Ken Griffey Jr., and we're playing wiffle ball, right? Throw one right at him. Throw one. He hits me right in the cheek, right here, right where the mic is.
Right. Do that again. That was good.
Boom.
Okay. Got it.
So what I did was I did the natural thing. I'm 6 years old. What do? I run upstairs, get on the elevator, go crying up to my mom. My mom's like, "What are you doing here? What are you crying about? Junior hit me. What do you mean he hit you? With the baseball." She goes, "Catch it. Get back down there." So, lesson learned.
And you certainly remember that, huh?
Oh, yes, I do remember that. I remember also Bill Madlock, 1976. Unbelievable year. Third baseman at the time for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And we bet him a Coke that he would not get 3 hits in a game. He's coming in and he's interrupting our game. We're like, "We bet you a Coke you can't get 3 hits." He goes, "I'll get 3 hits." Well, he did get 3 hits. I didn't get to see him again until 1993. Fast forward, when I was in the big leagues.
He remembered.
With the Angels, I see an old-timers game in Seattle. He's there. I went and gave him the Coke.
Attaboy.
That's great. Good story. Zubia rips one into left field. And that's going to plate another run for Texas. Zach Zubia heads into second base.
Texas, you got some offensive things to build off in the last few innings. Jake McKenzie double. Austin Todd single, scored him. Now Zubia's got a couple hits today. Still a long way to go in this one for Texas if they're going to get back in the middle of it. But it's 9 hits on the day for the Horns, and a few guys have gotten a mix.
Michael McCann bats for the second time. A little slide piece that's in there for a strike. McCann and Todd both came in defensive replacements in the 8th. There's a chance they both get an opportunity to bat twice. McCann walked and then scored a run in the 8th. Whoa. Kind of a Jeff Nelson. Remember old Jeff Nelson pitched for the Mariners and the Yankees. That had Frisbee type action on it.
And the Rubio Durazo drop and a Jeff Nelson drop tonight.
And a Bill Madlock drop.
Good, Bill Madlock.
The Gators of Florida and Texas Tech about an hour after we are completed here with the nightcap.
Is he on the app?
Got to be on the Plus app. They start him young. Got to be dialed into the ESPN Plus app. Got to read some live. Got to see some live stuff. Give me some games. If you haven't seen the ESPN Plus app, really good. It's like 250 million games on every single day. Which is about what that age group is used to consuming. Scroggins struggling here, 3-2 with 1 out. And he's signaling to the bullpen from up here in the booth. Wants another righty.
Get them all experience.
Ball down the middle.
That would have been ball 4 right there.
Back
He went
up
slider too.
Yeah.
We're looking at it's 11-5. Doesn't have a lot of control with his fastball, so he decides to go with the slider. Been a little bit more consistent with. As a hitter, you're like, are you kidding me?
Foul ball. I got him.
And 96 on your hands.
That hurt a little bit. We've gone to the end of the alphabet too. I don't know if you saw who was warming up out there, but the Z pack, Zebulon Vermillion. So we got a Z and a V. We've crossed off the end of the alphabet if he's able to get into the game. And grinding it here at home, fouling off another one. We've had 9 pitches in this at bat. Got to dial up the ESPN app too to see the Sunday Night Baseball game. He can watch his Cardinals play the Cubs. They're underway. Ball 4. So the fouls pay off for the Horns.
I want to say something right now. Joe Burleson behind the plate has done a fantastic job. The focus that you have to maintain on an 11-5 game, and you have a 2-hour, 47-minute rain delay, continuing to keep the energy up with the guys, communicating with them. It's been very impressive.
I like that, Eddie. The olive branch of the umpires. I like it.
Finally coming around.
I like where you're at.
Taking me some time. Little by little.
Here's Jake McKenzie. Right down the middle for a strike. Been in the airplane when they come on and tell you, air traffic control is just not going to let us land for a while, and you just kind of circle. This has the circle feel to it.
Hey, you'd feel a little bit different if McKenzie hits one down the line.
Without question. The last inning and this inning, they could make it a ball game.
Yeah, I mean it's
one hit away.
Swing, and
no doubt.
we got a little different game.
No question. They left a bunch on last inning, 3 of them. They get a couple on here. McKenzie had a double his last time up. Whew, that's a filthy slider. He chased it away, and that's the second out. How about the movement on that pitch? Sports Center with John Buchagras, John Anderson. A conversation with Brooks Koepka, who repeats as United States Open champion. He finishes 1 over par with a bogey on the last hole. There was nobody under par at the end of 4 rounds. The best moments from around Major League Baseball, and a terrific Sports Center featured on Stickball Boulevard in New York City. Talks about how a couple of boys whose dad really had them grow up playing stickball and lost his life in the September attacks in 2001 carry on his tradition on a street in New York. A terrific Sports Center feature coming up on Sports Center with John and John.
It's a fantastic special. It really is. The Mercado boys.
Austin Todd. Pops it up, and it's playable. They're pointing out to Kerstad in left. He comes in, and he makes the play, and that will end it. Started at 1 o'clock local time. 6 hours and roughly 49 minutes after the first pitch was thrown. The last pitch gets thrown. Good game for Arkansas. They take care of Texas by a final score of 11-5. They have 15 hits in the game.